Reva hai.
Thank you. Thank you, Usma. Although we are all familiar with
queen जैसी काहे लग रही है ये?
So let's start now. बाद में कर लेंगे ये सब. Although we are all familiar with Fozia Murtaza, but it is customary to start the session by introducing the speaker. So this is the last session of the series. The series is taking charge of our mental health. Now, 2 speakers have taken 3 sessions each, and this is the last session. And it will continue, and the next 2 speakers are going to be Manmeet Narang and Kiran Maqsood. So let me tell you something about Fozia Murtaza. She is dedicated to teaching community members and clientele new habits and strategies around self-care, nutrition, physical and mental wellness. She is also one of the mental health awareness ambassadors of MWC for senior sessions. Collaboration of knowledge. Fozia has a heart of service and drawing from her personal and professional experience using key concepts of the Wellness Recovery Action Plan, WRAP, and various community partners. Fozia is committed to wiping out stigma and normalizing conversations around mental health. Fozia, I have always enjoyed sessions of Fozia, and Fozia is a very gentle speaker, and she allows and listens to your queries very nicely, very patiently, and then includes that in her replies, which I like the most. So Fozia, now you are invited to start the session.
Awesome. Thank you, Revaji. Thank you for having me, Malta Women Council. As always, it's an honor to be in your presence. I'm really excited about today, and I just want to start by saying I hope everyone had a really nice day today. We don't have very many nice days before the winter is going to be upon us, so I hope everyone takes advantage of that. Today we're going to be talking about, well, we'll be having a conversation more or less about healthy living and what that looks like for each of us. So I'll be sharing with you a tool that I use. It's called a wellness wheel, which we'll use to explore the different areas of our lives, including the areas that we may be neglecting. And we'll also talk about different strategies and tips that we can use to modify our life. So let's get started. First of all, I want to ask everyone, and I'd like to hear from you. That's the other thing I just want to point out, and I think Riva also mentioned this, but I like to have my sessions interactive. So if you have a question, and when, while I'm speaking, if something comes up and you just want to address an issue at that time, let me know. If it's something that we can talk about, we will. If it's something that we can possibly leave till the end, then I'll ask if we can do that. But I would like to keep you guys engaged, and I'll be periodically asking you your opinions as well. So first thing I want to hear from everyone is, what do you think of when you hear healthy living? Anyone? And if you're talking, you're muted. And yeah, Gulnaz, do you have your hand up?
Healthy living means your lifestyle, healthy eating, exercising, and things like that.
Okay, awesome. And then I think we had Ms. Aloka, and then we'll go to Rajichi and then Madanako.
For me, healthy living is eating healthy food, not junk, and also exercising, also making sure that I think healthy, happy, positive thoughts. Yeah, that's awesome. What I want to contribute.
Okay, awesome. Thank you. Harjichi, go ahead.
Good evening, everyone. I was enjoying your talking first. I always enjoy the sessions, or today the topic is healthy living, and I believe healthy living is not only the physical health, it also comprises mental health also. Our health comes not only from eating good food, but it comes from meeting good people, having good thoughts, and thinking good about the others and about ourselves. And that in this way we can become healthy physically and mentally too. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you. Go ahead, Madanko.
Thank you very much, Fazia. To me, healthy living is positive thinking, enjoying the life, stress-free, healthy relationship with the people you are surrounded by.
Awesome. Thank you for that. Riva, your hand up, and then we will go to Rubina.
I think सबने बोल ही दिया है. It is your well-being of all the things, that is physical, mental aspects, and more so if you have a healthy mind, then you have a body also becomes healthy. So मेरे को लग रहा है कि mental health is more important than your physical health, but you cannot ignore your physical health. But mental comes before your physical health.
Okay, awesome. Thank you. So we'll go to Rubina and then to Zabda.
Hi everyone, good evening. This is Rubina, and a healthy lifestyle simply means for me doing things that make you happy and feel good. Like if you are not good, you're not healthy, so you will do all these stuff, but you will not be happy mentally or physically. Like your body will be painful, and like you cannot enjoy your work, your life, and all these stuff. So it means for me.
Okay,
Yeah.
awesome. Thank you for sharing that. Zabda,
Yeah.
go ahead.
सबसे पहले तो हेल्दी लाइफ के लिए ना आपका मेंटली लेवल जो है ना, मेंटल का लेवल वो हेल्दी होना चाहिए, क्योंकि जब स्ट्रेस माइंड में आता है तो वो सारी बॉडी को जो है वो मुतासर करता है, वो डैमेज करता है उसको. इसलिए मैं कोशिश करती हूँ कि मेरा मेंटल जो है ना वो हेल्दी रहे, ताकि मैं नॉर्मल रहूं और खुश रहूं. जब मैं खुश रहती हूँ मुझे भूख भी अच्छी लगती है, मैं वर्किंग भी करती हूँ, सब कुछ करती हूँ. और जब मैं स्ट्रेस में होती हूँ तो मेरा कुछ भी करने को दिल नहीं करता. तो इसलिए मैं खुश होने की कोशिश करती हूँ कि जब मैं खुश होती हूँ तब मैं खूब खाती पीती भी हूँ, वॉक भी करती हूँ, सब कुछ करती हूँ. सारा मेरे ख्याल में मेरे हिसाब से आपका मेंटली हेल्थ जो है ना वो ज्यादा जरूरी है, उससे सारा कुछ काउंट हो जाता है.
Okay,
Thank
awesome.
you.
Thank you. All right, did we get everything, Revaji? Okay, I think we lost Reva.
Sangeeta.
Okay. Oh, Sangeeta ji, go ahead.
Yeah, hi, I'm Sangeeta, and yeah, it's nice meeting with you, Fozia.
Nice to meet you too.
As a holistic health practitioner, I'd love to combine not only physical, mental, and emotional. That's something which is very, very powerful, and also like energy dynamics that happen in your body and also around you. So I would like to have this all the pieces of the puzzles together.
Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you for that. So as we're hearing from everyone, and everyone is right, all of the things, सारी जो चीजें आप लोग ने कहा है, वो सारी सही हैं. There's no one thing जो हम कह सकते हैं, this is healthy living. There's so many pieces to the puzzle, like Sangeeta said. But everything that I'm hearing, there are a few things that I didn't hear. And so basically what I'm hearing is, mindset. So taking care of our mental health, our physical health, our spiritual health, and, mind, body, soul, right? That's what we usually chalk up to being healthy living. But what about the other areas of our life? The ones that we aren't even aware of that have an impact on our wellness and our well-being. So we're going to look at those things today as well. First of all, healthy living, actually health itself, is really a choice. It's something that you have to decide for yourself. कोई नहीं आके कहेगा कि, आप ये करो और आप वो करो, and in a way that's going to better your life, because आपको पता है what your life needs to be like for you to be happy for you to be fulfilled. So only you can choose the changes that you need to make in your life. Now, finding someone, agar hamare saath koi, just accountability buddy, if it's spouses together, agar wo decide karenge, okay, hum saath milke change lekar aayenge, in our life, that's great. And it makes it easy, right? Someone to support you and someone that you're supporting. But keep in mind that to have lasting change, agar hum change karna chahte hain and we want that to last, that motivation jo hai, even though having someone jiske saath hum karenge usse, just having someone usse bhi hum motivate hote hain, the motivation that's going to really help us to keep those changes has to come internally. The motivation has to come from within us. So there's external motivation and there's internal motivation. So there's extrinsic and intrinsic motivation. Okay? But the ones that are the most successful are the ones that are internally motivated. They make the change for themselves. वो किसी और के लिए change नहीं करेंगे. Not for their husband, not for your wife, not for your kids, not for anyone. अगर वो change करेंगे, वो अपने लिए करेंगे. Those are the ones that will be the most successful. And they want to do it because they want to improve their life. They want to change their life. अपने लिए. They want something different from their life. So once you internalize your motivation and you find that, that commitment comes from a place of I'm doing this for me, not for anyone else, you actually have access to a whole new level of motivation. आप जब करेंगे ना अपने लिए कोई चीज and you just become determined कि मैंने यही करना है and ये मैं अपने लिए कर रही हूँ, कहीं ना कहीं से ना वो अंदर से एक motivation पैदा होती है that's really going to support you and help you to achieve those goals. And that will really help and move you forward to that place where you can create a life that you're happy with. So I have a tool that I use for this, process, and it's called the wellness wheel. And it's divided into 8 sections, and each section represents a different area of our life. Ab sab ka jo hum sun rahe the what healthy living means to you, obviously, even if you wanted to sit down, these 8 sections of our life, aap isko bhi expand kar sakte hain. You can expand it because there's so many different areas of our life that impact our wellness and our well-being overall. But I narrowed it down to these 8. And so we're going to have a look at that. And I also want to mention, they're not in any specific order. So the way that we go through it, it's not in an order from most important to least important. No, there's no specific order. So Gulnaz, I'm going to ask if you can just pull up the slides. Okay, and we can just go to the next slide. And we'll just be on a slide. I just want to give you guys a visual ताकि आप ये देख सकें कि हम कैसे इस topic पे address करेंगे और हम किस बारे में बात कर रहे हैं. So the first piece of the pie is relationships. So that's what we're going to talk about first. And Gulnaz, you can remove the slideshow. So we can just go back without the slide. And I'm only going to ask you to pull it up when I'm going to a new topic so that we can get a visual. So relationships. Now, all relationships have their own dynamics. And how we do with our relationship is going to be completely different with how we are with another relationship. Like we have many relationships and each one has its own dynamics. Just because you are maybe a parent and a sibling, your dynamics as parent and sibling can be completely different than the dynamics of another parent and sibling. So one thing we have to not do is compare. That's one thing, because that also creates stress for us, right? Now, when we're looking at our relationships, explore करें कि हमारे relationships जो हैं, are they healthy? Do we have healthy relationships? We have to ask ourselves, how well do we relate and connect with other people? So जब you're sitting down with someone that you have a relationship with, and are you able to have a conversation? Do you feel that you can express what you need to share and they listen to you? And wo jo keh rahe hain, do you listen to them? Is the support mutual, right? Are we able to maintain and like establish and maintain healthy relationships where we support each other? And so some of the questions that we can ask ourselves when we're exploring the health of our relationships is, do I have healthy boundaries? Okay, healthy boundaries are so important because healthy boundaries really divide, they kind of create a border from where you as an individual start and end, and where another person as an individual start and ends. And you have to be a complete person on your own, and then you can come together and bring something healthy to a relationship. But if we get into a relationship with someone and we think, okay, this is my better half, and I don't really believe in that, because you're not half a person, you're a whole person, and it's our responsibility कि हम अपने आप को पूरा develop करें. No one else is going to come and complete us. ठीक है? We can have that type of those types of feelings for other people, but when it comes down to it, it's up to us to establish ourselves and develop ourselves as a whole person. Only then can we bring something of value to the relationships that we have. The other thing we need to ask ourselves is, do I nurture the relationships that are important to me? Oftentimes we have relationships and we take people for granted. Like, if you've been married for a number of years, you'll know what I mean when I say sometimes I take my spouse for granted, and maybe I forget to tell him how much I appreciate him. But it's important that I take the time to do that, because those kind of comments and those kind of little drippings that you put into a relationship really helps to nurture the relationship. And are you doing it for the other person? And is the other person doing it for you? And we've had a session in the past where I talked about, all of this pertaining to ourselves. So I don't want you to think that I'm leaving myself out of the picture here, but this is where we're talking about healthy living on a whole. And part of that is relationships that we have with other people. So for this section, yes, we want to apply all those things for ourselves, but we also want to make sure that relationships that are important to us, are we putting the attention and giving the attention that's needed to nurture and build and maintain healthy relationships with others? The other thing is, do you feel that you're supported, and do you support others that you have relationships with? So are you encouraged to follow your dreams? Maybe a parent-sibling relationship, the child has this dream of like how they want to go out and what they want to do with their life, and the parent is saying, no, this is what you have to do. So the child is not being supported. And sometimes we need to listen to each other in order for us to maintain that healthy relationship. So if we're not listening to others and others are not listening to us, but we still are like, you're related by blood, you're, siblings or parents, children, or, with extended family, we don't always take the time to listen to the needs of the other people. And often what happens is, when we feel like we're supporting someone, we support others in the way that we feel we would want to be supported. But if you're going to support someone, we have to look at what that person needs and support them in the way that they need to be supported. So, जैसे अगर कोई मुझे support करे, my husband and I, अगर हम एक दूसरे को support करें, the things that I need that make me feel supported unke liye it's completely different. The things that he needs to make him feel supported is completely different. In a healthy relationship, आप एक दूसरे की ये जो है समझते हैं, and you're able to serve that to each other. You're able to provide that to each other. The other thing is there growth? Oftentimes we have a relationship with someone and it just stays there and it's the same year after year, like day after day, year after year, and वो relationship जो है वो बदलती नहीं है. And that's kind of really sad because as individuals, हम बदलते रहते हैं. We're changing as we age. So with that change, it's going to impact our relationships. Oftentimes हम ये सुनते हैं कि even husband and wife काफी अरसे से, शादीशुदा हैं, but they don't have anything that they do together, right? And वो अलग अलग अपना करते हैं, and there's nothing common that they have. And it's unfortunate because each person grew on their own, but they didn't grow together in that relationship. So what we want to do is we want to focus on our personal growth, because again, अगर हम अपने आप को नहीं develop करेंगे, हम अपने आप में growth नहीं देखेंगे, तो we're not bringing something of value to the relationship, something new. Because as we age, as we grow older, हमारी ख्वाहिशें बदलती हैं, जो चीजें हमें पसंद हैं वो बदलती हैं. And so we have to create a space where we can grow as individuals, but also come together and grow together. The other thing we need to ask is there a balance between personal time and being together? Because it's really important. Just because you're married to someone, or just because you are in a relationship with someone, you don't have to spend all the time together. In fact, it's quite healthy कि अगर हर रोज हम थोड़ा सा time निकाल के अपने आप बैठें, अकेले में बैठें, and just reflect on your thoughts. Maybe do some journaling. Think about your dreams. Think about your own goals. ये सारी चीजें, it's important for us to do that on our own. And then we can even sometimes come together and discuss it and learn about each other. So that's the next thing we have to pay attention to with growth, but also having that balanced time of having personal time and also having that together time. Now, this is the other thing. What is the price that you're willing to pay for your relationships? This is an interesting question, because we know that relationships are not perfect, right? There's ups and downs, and हम किसी और को change नहीं कर सकते. We can change ourselves, right? All of this is about, growth and bettering ourselves. But किसी और को हम नहीं change कर सकते. So if we have a relationship with someone and that person is refusing to change, and that person maybe is not a very positive person, then we have to decide, because it's not our job to change people, right? We can try to have a conversation. They don't want to change. They don't want to have a conversation. That's fine. That's up to them. But हम ये सोचें कि if that relationship is worth holding on to, then can we accept the person for who they are? And can we accept the person for who they are not? So sometimes we have expectations from someone else, and they're not capable of providing what we're expecting from them. They just don't have the capacity, and that's okay. It doesn't make it right, wrong, good, or bad. What it does is it puts us in a position of making a choice. If you want to continue having a relationship with this person, then accept that this is how the person is. And what I like to say is, think of it as the price that you're willing to pay for that relationship, right? If you're unhappy, you can choose to accept the situation as the price that you're willing to pay, or you can try to work it out. Is the other person's not willing to put in the work, because relationships take work, then you have a choice of maybe you want to leave, and that's okay. right? Because we want to do what's best for us. We want to maintain relationships in a way that we're not feeling that we're suppressing ourselves or that we're neglecting our own needs for the sake of someone else. It has to be a nurtured, healthy relationship. And all of these things that I talked about, agar ye cheezein jo hai hamare relationship mein available nahi hai, and they're not present in our relationship, then our relationships can be unhealthy. And having an unhealthy relationship will have a negative impact on our overall well-being. So relationships being healthy is very important for our overall well-being. Anyone have anything they want to add or any questions? Really quick, I think I have to pick up the speed because we have a lot of things to get through today. Yes, Ms. Aloka, go ahead.
So I want to say that some of these ideas are revolutionary ideas, and this was so brilliant what you said.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, so Gulnaz, we're going to go to the next slide just to give you guys a visual of where we are. So this would be slide number 3. And so now we're going to talk about physical. Okay, so questions to think about when we're talking about physical health. First of all, I want to point out that we can get rid of the slide now. Sorry, it's just for a moment to give a visual. So when we're talking about physical health, we all have something in mind, right? But the other thing I want to really approach here, and I didn't put it because I didn't put this separate category, but physical space. So if you live in a space that's cluttered or disorganized, uska jo, that physical space, uska effect bhi aapki physical health ke upar hoga. So I just want to point that out. And now we'll really focus on physical health. So when I talk about physical health or you hear physical health, what do you think of? Anybody? I'm just going to take 1 or 2 people. If you're talking, you're muted.
Do you mean to say physical health is how you feel, or somebody has some kind of conditions, physical conditions? And
Anything. What do you think of? जब मैं कहती हूँ कि in our overall well-being, that pie that we saw, उसका एक हिस्सा जो है वो physical health का भी है. Yeah.
Physical is mainly to do with your body. That's what I figure it out. Anything to do with your body. You might have high blood pressure or whatever condition you might have. That's that could be a part of physical health, which affects your mental health.
Absolutely.
If you're physically not well, that will affect you mentally.
Absolutely, because everything is connected. That's right. So अगर हम अपने physical health का piece जो है वो pie जो है उसका एक slice निकाला, and that's physical, right? So physical health जब हम, we're thinking about it and we're exploring physical health, we have questions जो हम अपने आप से पूछ सकते हैं. 1, do I have an active lifestyle? Right? Do I have an active lifestyle? Active lifestyle doesn't mean कि हर रोज उठ के सुबह 6 बजे मैं gym जा रही हूँ. It doesn't mean that. But it means, are you taking time out to go, right? Are you getting the fresh air that you need? Every day we should be getting some fresh air. If you have a few friends, maybe go for a walk together. If you can do some exercises at home, do some exercises. Internet पे, YouTube पे, Facebook पे, there's so many things available here. तो वो हम कर सकते हैं, right? Just join a group and just do something with everyone on virtually online. दूसरा हम आपसे पूछें कि do I have healthy habits and behaviors? तो अपने habits or behaviors देखें, do they support physical wellness and physical well-being? We have to really be honest with ourselves. So for example, like somebody has a habit of smoking, that's going to have an impact on your physical health, right? If somebody has a habit, that any habit, that's unhealthy, maybe you don't wake up in the morning, maybe you sleep in until noon just because you don't have anything to do that day. And so every day you sleep in until noon, well, aadat aapki ho gayi hai. That's not a healthy habit कि आधा दिन गुजर जाता है and you haven't gotten up yet. So we have to look at our habits and behaviors. हमें सोचना चाहिए कि even if you're not working, even if you are home, even if you live by yourself, you can still create routines for yourself. कि सुबह उठ के आपकी जो morning routine है, what does that look like? आप किस time पे उठेंगे? Part of your morning routine can be that you do, some stretches in the morning, you take a shower, you fix your bed, you get ready for the day. Even if you don't have anywhere to go, you can get ready for the day. Ye sari cheezein jo hai, it has an impact on our overall well-being. And that's what we're looking at, the whole pie. So this piece is about looking, what impacts our physical health. So we have to also say, do I choose things that make my body feel good? Right? So when we choose things for ourselves, are we choosing things that make us feel good? I'll give you a small example. If you're going out somewhere, and this is for women, but do you wear high heels that are so uncomfortable that 10 minutes later you need to take off your shoes? That's not supporting your physical well-being, because your feet are going to be killing you. And if your feet are killing you, chances are that the rest of your joints in your legs are going to be killing you too, right? So we have to look at all of these little things jo hum karte hain. Every day we have choices, and all of these choices, as small as they may seem, have an impact on our overall well-being. Okay. So do I avoid things that don't support my physical well-being? So I know if I'm not prepared to go out for, a long walk, and I just say, okay, never mind, I'm going to go and I do it, I'm going to feel that. And I haven't prepared my body to do it, right? Maybe you want to change the furniture in your house and you're lifting sofas and moving the refrigerator. No, these things are not supporting your well-being. You ask for help, you can do it together with someone else or have someone else come and do it, but choose things that support your physical well-being. We have to make sure कि हम सारी चीजें जो हैं, because no one else is going to do it. No one else is going to come and take care of us the way that we can take care of ourselves. So
sorry, I want to say something over here. Sorry to interrupt.
Absolutely, go ahead.
We were talking about in the first slide about the relationship and the nature of the relationship, whether these are cardial or what type of relation do you have. And now we are talking about our physical health. I want to submit over here that some of the relations are given. You don't have the choice.
That's
like
right.
You don't have the parents to choose. Parents are given. And so the children have the relationship with their parents and vice versa.
Yes.
And whether these relations are cardial relation or tense relations, that will be affecting your physical and mental health. So when you are caring only about your physical health, that I want to do this, I want to this, your environment, family environment may not be encouraging so much so that you can concentrate on yourself. So this relationship and physical health, they are directly, they are having causal relationship between the two.
Yes, thank you for that. And you're absolutely right, because हमारे घर का माहौल जो है, अगर वो काफी टॉक्सिक है, लड़ाइयाँ हो रही है, मिसअंडरस्टैंडिंग्स हो रहे हैं, obviously उससे हमारे physical health पे भी असर होगा. That's for sure. But what I'm saying is that अगर हमारे घर ऐसे है, what can we do to change that? What can we do to approach opening up the space that we can have a conversation about that? That's what I'm saying. Because if we think that, okay, I can't help it, this person is like that, but inside it's hurting you and you're upset and you're like sad or angry, or that, wo aapke upar asar ho raha hai. That's not right. That's what I'm saying. So when we look at relationships, हम क्या कर सकते हैं कि हम relationships को healthy करें? What are the things that we can look at? And that's why I gave those questions कि हम अपने आप से ये questions पूछें. And it's hard to do these exercises. कहना बहुत आसान है. To actually do it is difficult because it requires कि हम अपने आप के साथ बिल्कुल honest हो. And sometimes we don't like what we see when we're honest with ourselves. We don't want to see that side of us. We don't want to see that, okay, मेरी सोच ऐसे है. But we have to be able to see it and be aware of it before we can do something to change it if we want. Yes, Revaji, go ahead.
इतना तो हम सबको पता लग ही जाता है कि इतने सालों से हम किसी टॉक्सिक रिलेशनशिप में हैं, चाहे वो किसी के साथ भी हो सकता है, इन लॉज में से किसी के साथ हो सकता है, बच्चों के साथ भी हो सकता है. वंस यू रियलाइज दैट ये टॉक्सिक रिलेशनशिप है और ये मेरे पे बहुत इफेक्ट कर रहा है, तो हेल्थ का अपना ध्यान तो रखना ही है ना. then you have to come out of it, then you have to take care of yourself and be disciplined. अपना कोई एक फिजिकल रूटीन बना लेना चाहिए.
Exactly.
चाहे वो अगर आपको वो सुबह नहीं जाने दे रहे या जो भी कोई आप पे restrictions है, you can go in the afternoon or you can go in the evening whenever it suits you, so that कि उससे लड़ाई बढ़े ना, उससे ज्यादा काम खराब ना हो. बट फिजिकल बाहर जाना, वॉक करना, थोड़ी फिजिकल एक्सरसाइज करना, so that positive hormones आपके अंदर बन रहे हैं and you are ready to combat with the next situation is very important.
Yes, no doubt.
Here, positive hormones are very important and you are going to generate it only if you go for a walk or you go out of the house where all this is happening. ये
Yes.
बहुत ही ज्यादा जरूरी है. This is what is my experience with life. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Revaji. Miss Aloka, go ahead. You're muted.
मैंने इसमें एक कहना कि इसीलिए मैंने कहा था कि ये जो आइडियाज फौजिया प्रेजेंट कर रही है ना, ये बड़े रेवोल्यूशनरी आइडियाज हैं, क्योंकि उसने शुरू इसी बात से किया, करमजीत जी, कि हमारी हेल्थ सबसे इम्पोर्टेंट है इक्वेशन में. फिर उसने दूसरी बात जो कही रिलेशनशिप में, बिल्डिंग बाउंड्रीज. तो अगर कोई रिश्ता घर में भी है, चाहे वो किसी के साथ भी है, और वो हेल्दी नहीं है, तो फिर बाउंड्री उतनी दूर करनी पड़ेगी ना उसके हिसाब से. तो ये बहुत इम्पोर्टेंट बातें हैं, इसीलिए मैंने कहा कि ये रेवोल्यूशनरी आइडियाज हैं. Where she is saying again and again, भैया तुम्हारी हेल्थ तो तुम्हारे ऊपर डिपेंडेंट है, और चाहे किसी जो तुम्हारे ऊपर टॉक्सिसिटी फेंक रहा है ना, उससे दूर हो. उसको कहते हैं सोफिस्टिकेटेड भाषा में कि मैं आपके साथ रख रही हूँ रिश्ता, पर मैं बिल्ड बाउंड्री कर रही हूँ जरा अपने हेल्थ के लिए.
Absolutely. Thank you for that,
मुश्किल है.
Miss Aloka. मुश्किल है. It is hard to do. But keep in mind, अगर आप ऐसी किसी सिचुएशन में हैं,
करना पैना है, कमल जी करना पैना है.
we are passing through the all these experiences.
जैसे हम उनसे डर रहे होते हैं ना, उनसे डर रहे हैं, पर जब हम ये करने लग जाते हैं तो वो भी उसी तरह से रिएक्ट करेंगे जैसे हम कर रहे होते. So you have to take the step.
स्पेशली जब ऐसी स्थिति तब आती है जब वो बच्चे ना तो इतने बड़े होते हैं, ना ही बहुत छोटे होते हैं. दे आर इन ग्रोइंग एज. 10 से 12-13 साल की उम्र के होते हैं, तो ना तो उनको आप सच्ची मुच्ची डांट सकते हो और ना ही उनको इग्नोर भी कर सकते हो, बिकॉज यू आर इंटरेस्टेड टू इम्प्रूव देम. और अगर डांटते हो तो वो गुस्सा करते हैं. आजकल की जनरेशन है ना, वो उनको टैकल करना बहुत मुश्किल है.
I'm so glad that you said that. I'm going to address that in 1 second. I just want to say कि जो मैं कह रही हूँ, अगर आपकी situation ऐसी है कि you are in danger, कि you are, at risk of being in danger or abused, and you are scared or fearful, then none of this is going to work, right? Yeah. Then you're not going to have to say to the person, let's sit down and have a talk. Then you're in survival mode. And in survival mode, you need to reach out and make sure that you get the help that you need. And there's crisis lines, there's places that you can call to get the help that you need. So if you feel that you're in danger and your situation is one that is maybe threatening for you or for your children and you're in fear, please don't just sit and wait for things to get better. Do something to get yourself safe, in a safe place and away from harm and danger. Yes, Sangeeta, go ahead.
Yeah, just sometimes, like in my case, it happened that possibly this must be the case with every person who has been through trauma. Is like हमको समझ में नहीं आता कि हम trauma से गुजर रहे हैं. हमको समझ में नहीं आता कि हम उस चीज से गुजरे, because there are cultural pressures, there are your own societal pressures and their own expectations pressures, so, and also the family pressure. So really want to bury the things as much as you can. I know I have been through this. So that's where I'm speaking from my own experience, till really something drastic happened. And that too, like people start on my head to take action. I didn't take action, like so much of pressure it was. And they say, I would say the example of what is it? Fish is in the water, it doesn't know it is in water.
Right.
It's like that.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, you're absolutely right. And you're right, the societal and cultural norms हमें उस situation में रखती हैं, because we are conditioned to accept it, right? This is what life is. But what I'm saying is, let's become aware of it, because maybe a woman is in a situation where she's miserable, but in her understanding, this is what life is for her, and she's continuing to stay there. She doesn't have to. She doesn't have to, right? So, Kamal ji, I want to address what you said, aapne bachon ka kaha hai, and it's really, I'm glad you said that, because this is a perfect example. अगर ये सारी चीजें जिसे हम बात कर रहे हैं ना, अगर ये हम अपने ऊपर apply कर सके, I know it's hard because हमारा culture जो है वो completely different है, but अगर ये चीजें हम लेके अपने आप and जैसे घर में जो बड़े हैं वो apply कर सकें, that's the best modeling बच्चों के लिए. That's the best way for us to show the next generation कि it's not all about मैंने जो कहा है वो बात सुननी है and you don't have a say. It's about, you know what, I have struggles too, and this is how I deal with it. उनके लिए आसानी होगी, उनके लिए example होगा. So when they go through struggles, when they have some, thing that they're challenged with, उनको पता होगा कि I can get help. It's okay to get help, but I have to work on these things. And you don't just have to accept what comes your way. You have a choice. This is a perfect example. So thank you for bringing that up, because बच्चों को, like, हम करेंगे तो फिर हमारे बच्चे जो हैं वो आगे सीख सकते हैं, वो अपने आप को बेहतर कर सकते हैं. That's all we want, right? We want the next generation to be better than us. So we have to better ourselves in the way that we can, ताकि वो देख सकें और फिर वो आगे apply करें. And वो हमसे आगे निकल जाएंगे. They're going to find more ways to better themselves and take care of themselves. And that's, I think, as a parent, that's something that we should be proud of.
Thank you.
Okay, so routines, हमने routines के बारे में बात की है. Having a morning routine, during the day, have a routine, like Revaji was saying. Maybe your situation is such कि सुबह आप नहीं जा सकते बाहर walk के लिए, but दोपहर को आपके पास थोड़ा सा वक्त होता है. Make your schedule. At that time, make the routine कि मैं इस वक्त निकल जाती हूँ walk के लिए, or you do something, or you have interaction with someone else. ठीक है? The other thing is, let's ask ourselves, am I being proactive when it comes to my health? This is interesting because काफी लोग मैंने देखे हैं कि they don't do anything, pay attention to bettering their health जब तक उनको कोई serious diagnosis नहीं होता. Then all of a sudden they go into hyper mode and it's like, okay, अब क्या कर सकते हैं? How do I make the change? Whatever. So why do we wait until that? हम शुरू से just be proactive. How can we take care of our health so that we can do everything that's in our power to prevent some kind of serious diagnosis? So we ask ourselves, am I being proactive with my health? Another question, do I practice injury prevention? What do I mean by injury prevention? If you go bike riding, do you wear a helmet? That's injury prevention, right? When you sit in the car, do you wear a seatbelt? Not just if you're the driver, but if you're a passenger. Do you wear a seatbelt? If you're in the back seat, do you wear a seatbelt? When you go out, and it's a very crowded area nowadays, everyone is used to this, but do wear a mask, right? Like we have to ask ourselves, okay, मैं क्या कर रही हूँ to prevent something from happening? Obviously, हमारे हाथ में सब कुछ नहीं होता. We can't control outside forces, but जो हमारे हाथ में है, the things that are in our power, are we doing those things? We have to ask ourselves, right? Am I in control, or do I refrain from alcohol or drug use? Right? We have to ask ourselves, if, you know, do you drink alcohol to the point that you start abusing people verbally or any other way, or maybe you get scary, maybe you start behaving a certain way? You know, you have to be aware of that. You have to make that change. It's not someone else's responsibility. Same with drugs. And I don't mean just, you know, like the drugs that we're thinking that are available out on the street. That's not what I'm talking about. Even, do you abuse Tylenol? You know, do you abuse Advil? Those things have an adverse effect on us. Too much Tylenol will mess with your liver. Too much Advil will mess with your stomach lining. So are we taking care of things? Are we addressing our body, our physical body, in a holistic way? Or are we just looking for a quick fix? Because a quick fix is not long lasting. Holistic ways will maintain a level of balance, a level of wellness. Okay. Next slide, Gulnaz. I feel like some of these topics need a session on their own.
Yeah, I know.
Riva, sorry, did you have your hand up?
Yeah, I just wanted to say that the age in which we are, we should be taking a few precautions, like
Yes.
when you get up from your bed in the middle of night, you should not run to the toilet. You should sit for some time, gather your breath, and then you walk. Or when you are changing clothes after taking a bath, you should sit down and wear your clothes. There are
Yes.
certain precautions which are to be taken. If you tell us a few more.
Yes.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. I can't see the whole screen, but somebody else was agreeing with you. And does that person have something they want to share? I'm not sure who it was. Was it Kamaljichi?
Yes.
Yes.
I want to just add over here that when you are climbing the stairs, then you must, if you are not comfortable in jumping quickly, then you must have something to hold on. Similarly, when you are taking bath, then you should know the temperature of the water. Not very cold, not very hot. By the touch or any method you can adopt, and you should know that what is the what type of water you want to have. Similarly, other things in the kitchen, you should be very careful. In bedtime, you should be careful, like she has also said, that when you are getting up, you should not be so quick and running. Like these are the small precautions which one should take into considerations so that you can protect yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. Another one is khana jo khate hain, right?
Yeah.
So agar zyada oily food khayenge, आपको पता है कि रात को आपको वो acid reflux होगा या आपको जलन होगी, or you'll have some discomfort. So don't eat that. मिर्च जो है, ज़्यादा मिर्च खाने से भी, you know, it असर होता है, right? So we have to be careful for those things. Some people are allergic. They have, like, maybe they can't drink milk, right? या शायद वो bread नहीं खा सकते. But उनको, like, they're craving, because of their cravings, वो खा लेते हैं, वो कहते हैं okay, बाद में देखा जाएगा. No, that's not, I know people that do that. That's not good. right?
Yes, yes.
हमने खुद ये चीजें देखती हैं, right? We have to be aware of these things and we have to make these mindful choices. Okay, next piece of the pie, emotional. Okay, thanks, Gulnaz. So emotional well-being. Did somebody have their hand up? I missed. Miss Aloka, आपका शायद हाथ था. Did you have your hand, Miss Aloka? Up muted.
You're mute.
मैं कह रही हूँ नहीं अब चलते हैं इमोशनल पे, पर हर एक के ऊपर एक पूरा सेशन करो फौजिया.
Okay, absolutely. Absolutely. Let me know when.
We need that.
Okay. Yeah, I know. I feel it myself. It's more a rush hai, but it's because we're not even halfway through done yet, and so I just want to do it and then have some questions.
रश है पर ये करना पड़ेगा. गुलनाज को बोल रहे हैं.
Okay.
और उज्जवल को बोल.
Okay, ball in your court, ladies. Okay, emotional health. So being emotionally well is more than just being able to handle your stress, right? When we think about emotional health, we think, okay, I can handle this stress. I'm good or I'm not good. But it's more than that. Emotional wellness is the ability to be aware of and accept your feelings rather than denying them. So agar kisi baat se you're angry, and we say, okay, no, I shouldn't be angry, and we just ignore it, like try to push it down, you're denying yourself that emotion. Accept it. Okay, you know what? Right now I'm feeling angry, and that's okay. You don't have to act on it. You don't have to go and do something or say something to someone, but acknowledge your feeling. Don't deny yourself what you're feeling. Okay? So emotional health refers to how a person's able to manage their thoughts, their feelings and emotions through the ups and downs of life. Ab hame pata hai ki zindagi mein upar niche hota hai, right? And sometimes we're really good. It's not too stressful and hum, bardasht kar lete and we manage. But sometimes life happens and it's like, you feel like it's just piling up. Ek ke baad ek cheez hoti hai. So it can have a toll on us, but how well can we come back to that, right? Stress ke baare mein is like, we all have a window of tolerance. I want to try to give you guys this really quick. So we have a window of tolerance, and within that window of tolerance, if there's some stress, hum bardasht kenge, because it's within our window of tolerance. But if it's outside of that window of tolerance, there's different reactions. Some people, they become very like loud and hyper and angry, and that's not a good way to deal with it. And sometimes some people, they become very quiet and reserved, completely shut down. That's not all either. It's not a healthy way. So what we have to do is we have to learn to manage our emotions, because agar hum emotions ko manage karna seekhe, and just the way to do that is what I'm talking about now, is that emotional wellness, accepting what we're feeling and just sitting with that feeling and saying, okay, this is how I feel. It's okay that I feel this way, and then let it pass. Know that it doesn't have control over you. What you're doing is aapki jo window of tolerance hai na, aap usko बढ़ा रहे हैं. It's getting bigger, and वो जब बढ़ती जाती है ना, you become it becomes easier for you to deal with the life's what ups and downs life throws at us. So we can actually expand our window of tolerance by practicing sitting with our emotions and our feelings and working through it in a healthy way. So when we're looking at or exploring our emotional well-being, there's some questions jo hum apne aap se pooch sakte hain. And the first one is, am I mindful of how I think and how I feel? Sometimes, I'll give you an example. Sometimes kya hota hai is something is going to upset you. Maybe ghar ka mahol is a certain way, and you're so used to it कि अब आपको पता ही नहीं चला, and you're being irritated, but you don't even feel it. It's like we were talking about, fish being in water doesn't know that it's in water because hum itni aadi ho jate hain na ki hame pata hi nahi chalta. So what we need to do is we need to bring our attention so that we become mindful of these things. When we become mindful of them, then we're able to process it. When we get good at processing it, then we're building our emotional well-being. And agar hamari emotional well-being is like, non-existent, hamare mushkil hoga dealing with or having healthy ways to deal with stress and all of these other things that happen in our life. So the other thing to ask ourselves is, we know कि जिंदगी में ऊपर नीचे होता है, but do I have an optimistic approach to life and I can still enjoy life? Even though, stressful वक्त से मैं गुजर रही हूँ, can I still enjoy or can I still have hope and be optimistic? Okay, all right, ये भी गुजर जाएगा, but actually feel it and allow myself to sit in that. Okay? Another question we can ask ourselves, do I have high self-esteem and a strong sense of self? Kafi times like kya hota hai ki when we are in certain situations, we become accustomed, especially in our culture, we become accustomed कि हमारे जो सोच है, जो मैं समझती हूँ कि मेरे लिए ये सही है, it's overruled by other people, and so we don't really honor who we are authentically, and so we're not able to express ourselves the way that we need to show up. And so ask yourself, does that happen to you? Because that takes away from your sense of self and that will lower your self-esteem. So we need to maintain a nice level of self-esteem as well as have that strong sense of self so that we're able to have those conversations and we're able to express the feelings that we have and the emotions that we have. We're able to express them in a way that is healthy, it's productive, right? And awareness starts with understanding how these emotions make us feel. So we have to be aware of that. Are we able to process the emotion? Yeah, mujhe gussa aaya hua hai, and then I'm just telling everybody, okay, mujhe 2 din tak koi mere se baat nahi kare. And then in 2 days, khud ba khud wo aisa ho jayega, wo kam ho jayega, and then I'm back like nothing happened. That's not a healthy coping mechanism. We have to be able to process our emotion and we have to let them go in a healthy and productive way, right? The funny thing about our brain is that our brain processes and assigns emotions to every experience that we have. So emotional wellness also includes the ability to learn and grow from our experiences. Okay? And then all of this again comes to how well do I manage stress? And then ask yourself, do I have feelings of being content? Is my heart content? Ya koi andar se bechani hai, ya main khush nahi hu or something, but I'm just ignoring it. Do I have that feeling that, what? Yeah, life is up and down, but overall, when I think about it, I'm happy, I'm content. Okay? And then the last one here is, can I say no without guilty? How many people jab hum kisi se, koi cheez, someone says something to us or hum mana karte, but we have those feelings of guilt कि no मुझे करना चाहिए था उनके लिए. Even if we can't do it, we have that feeling of guilt कि I should have somehow managed, उनने मेरे से पूछा and how did I say no to them? It's okay to say no. If you have a lot on your plate and you're not able to do something, you don't have to say yes to everything that someone asks, that people ask you to do.
यहाँ पे मैं एक ऐड करना चाहूंगी
जी
मैं ज्यादा बोल रही हूँ मुझे लगता है
नहीं आप बोलें we're learning, all of us are learning together.
कई बार ना we have some problem with some words which the present generation the kids of present generation, they are very frequently using those terms, but from the background which we are coming from, हम कभी ऐसी वर्डिंग यूज नहीं करते थे. लेट मी गिव यू द एग्जांपल. जैसे कि हम अगर बच्चे को कहते हैं कि यू शुड नॉट डू लाइक दैट, देन दे से आई डोंट केयर, आई नो. मतलब हम तो उनको सजेस्टिव वे से कह रहे हैं कि बेटा ऐसे मत करो, अच्छा नहीं लगता है, आई नो. तो दूसरा ये एक बहुत वर्ड यूज करते हैं कि अगर हम कहें कि नहीं बेटे ऐसे नहीं करते, इट डज नॉट लुक नाइस टू अदर्स, देन दे विल से आई डोंट केयर एंड आई नो. एंड अगर हम कहें कि नहीं इसका तेरे को कल को इसका नुकसान भी हो सकता है, अगर मैं कहूँ कि आज सर्दी बहुत है, वो वार्मर पहन लो या कुछ कर लो, सॉक्स पहन लो, समथिंग लाइक दैट, देन कैन गेट नो इट्स ओके, आई नो इट्स ओके. सो जब हम तो उनको सजेस्टिव वे से कह रहे हैं कि ऐसा दूसरे को अच्छा नहीं लगेगा, दिस इज गुड फॉर यू, गुड फॉर फ्यूचर, वो जो टर्मिनोलॉजी सेट, आई नो, आई डोंट केयर, इट्स ओके, ये जो टर्मिनोलॉजी है ना, वी डोंट फील कंफर्टेबल विद दिस, बट फॉर देम इट्स नॉर्मल टू यूज दिस टर्मिनोलॉजी. हाउ टू कोप विद ऑल दिस. कई बार तो बड़ा ऐसे लगता है, हर्टिंग लगता है कि क्या ये समझते ही नहीं है कुछ हमें, है ना. लेकिन फिर क्या करें.
Okay, great question. Great
Fazia?
question. And yes, this one.
Fazia, can I ask Kamaljeet ji that how old are the kids?
I was going to ask that too, but I think you mentioned 10 or something.
The kids which I am right now dealing is one. My granddaughter is she is 11 years old, and the grandson he's 12.
12. Okay. All right.
So son is
Rivaji,
okay. But with the girl, I'm facing the problem. She is
Okay.
very cute, but I'm really interested to improve her, but she doesn't listen to me.
Okay.
So
Okay.
typical.
Usma, did you have another question or anything to add? No? Okay. Rivaji, you have your hand up. Are you going to add to what she's saying? You're muted. I'll mute the hand, Rivaji.
We all have faced these problems. अब तो मेरे बच्चे बहुत बड़े हो गए, पर when they were of this age, so मैंने किसी को कंसल्ट किया था, तो उन्होंने मुझे एक बात कही थी कि आप बड़े हो, है ना, आप don't take this personally. So should not be taking it personally. वो आपको नहीं कह रहे, क्योंकि वो उम्र ही ऐसी होती थी. पहले टीनेज जो थी वो 13 के बाद शुरू होती थी, अब बच्चों की टीनेज थोड़ी जल्दी शुरू होने लग गई है. और if you will keep your body language positive, you know, it's not only that you say something, you have to keep your body language positive.
Yeah.
No, smile करके इधर उधर हो जाओ तो ठीक रहता है. तो मुझे तो डॉक्टर ने कहा था, you behave like a mother. Your only responsibilities is to give them love and don't criticize all their things and keep your body language positive. So I did it and it really worked. Really worked.
Very right.
Awesome. Thank
Body
you,
language
Rivaji.
बहुत मायने रखती है.
Yes.
Meeta ji, you have your hand up.
Hello everyone, and
Hello.
awesome as usual, Fozia.
Thank you.
So handling kids, right? So actually we are expecting too much from them all the time. We really think that we need to sudharofy them all the time. Why do we go with this opinion that we need to unko humne sudharna hi hai? Why do we believe that they need improvement? Let them grow. They do commit. We have been committing mistakes. Even at this stage, we do mistakes. So many mistakes we are doing. We are doing so many wrong things. We say wrong things to people. We show wrong emotions to people. We are not able to express ourselves nicely to people. We don't have right choice of words, even at this age, after so much of experience, after so much of knowledge. Why do we assume that they need improvement? Why do we need to always believe that they don't know anything at all? Maybe they want to experience certain things in their own way. Why are we not able to accept that? This is very much necessary for our emotion. हमारी अपनी जो emotional well-being है, उसके लिए ये जरूरी है कि हम हर व्यक्ति को, चाहे वो हमारा पोता है, पोती है, दोता है, दोती है, जितनी भी एज ग्रुप का है, उसको उस तरह से एक्सेप्ट करें जिस तरह से वो है. हम हमेशा ये ना सोचे कि हमने उनको सुधारना है, वो गलती है. ऐसा जरूरी नहीं है. वो ठीक हो सकते हो, क्या पता वो ठीक हो, और कई बार वो ठीक होते भी हैं. हमें बाद में रियलाइज करता है, हमारी ईगो हमें मानने नहीं देती. ठीक है. और जो मैं कह रही हूँ कि कई बार और मोस्टली क्या होता है कि बच्चे अपने हिसाब से एक्सपीरियंस करना चाहते हैं कई चीजें, तो हमें उन्हें करने देना चाहिए. और हमें हर्ट होने की क्या जरूरत है? पता नहीं हम कितने लोगों को कितनी हर्टफुल बातें अभी भी बोल जाते हैं. तो इसमें इतना फील करने की मुझे नहीं लगता कि जरूरत होती है. ये जनरेशन गैप भी अगर हम इसको माने तो भी हम इसको डिफाइन कर सकते हैं. वी कैन डिफाइन इट अंडर जनरेशन गैप आल्सो, एंड वी कैन also define it under different opinions. We may not think in the same manner, all of us. So हमें थोड़ा सा दिल दिमाग खुले रखने पड़ते हैं. और ये जनरेशन बहुत ज्यादा एडवांस्ड है हमसे, हमें ये मानना पड़ेगा. अगर हम नहीं मानते हैं तो हमारी गलती है. ये हमसे ज्यादा इवॉल्व्ड भी हैं ब्रेन वाइज. अगर हम जेनेटिकली भी देखें तो हमसे इवॉल्व्ड हैं. ये जनरेशन का एक्सपोजर बहुत ज्यादा है. इनकी इंटरेक्शंस, इनके पास कम्युनिकेशंस की स्किल्स हमसे बेटर हैं. तो और हमारा तो देश ही फर्क है फिर. तो ये जिस माहौल में रहते हैं तो इनका सोच वैसा ही होगा ना. तो मुझे नहीं लगता कि हमें कोई ज्यादा फील करना चाहिए. इट्स ओके, वो अपने हिसाब से सोचते हैं. हमें अपना काम कहते जाना है, करते जाना है, प्यार प्यार से, हल्का हल्का मुस्कुराते हुए कहते जाना है. मर्जी उनकी, मान ले ठीक है, नहीं माने तब भी ठीक है.
यही एटीट्यूड अपनाना पड़ेगा.
नहीं पड़ेगा नहीं. सोचिए इसको आप हैप्पीली यही रखिए हमेशा. स्टे. ये तो सभी के साथ करना है. आपने अपने एज ग्रुप के साथ भी करना है हमेशा. मुझे ऐसे लगता है. I don't know. Fozia will tell better.
Awesome. Thank you, Mitaji. Okay, we'll go to Shantaji, then Prabhaji, and then Gulnaz.
Well
And
said,
if we can make it quick, because we're like,
very
I think,
quick. I'll just go by the thing. Very, very well said, Mitaji. Exactly. I'll just give you an anecdote from my own life about the children raising. When my daughter was 12 or 13, she wanted to go and spend sleepover. I let her go. But once she was going to a friend's place where her mother's boyfriend and all were going to be there. I was not comfortable. I was not at all comfortable. I didn't know the mother. I didn't know the boyfriend. She going and sleeping there. I was not comfortable. So when I said, do you know what my daughter said? Ma, we are not in India. You are in Canada. This is the Canadian life. So my mother was there at that time. She said, you don't talk to her like that. To me, she said, don't talk to your daughter like that. And she somehow explained to her, it's not India or Canada. When mom is not comfortable, she will be worried. She won't sleep. Do you want your mom to be sick tomorrow, not sleeping? She has to go to work. And she agreed immediately. She said, no, I'm not going. I'm just giving an example. So like Mitaji said, we have to change our approach to the children. Then that might help. Then we won't be, our emotional well-being is more important to raise them or to be with them. That's what I feel. Anyway, I have to leave early. I'm sorry. And I'll excellent this thing. I'm going to watch the video once it's done.
Okay. Thank you, Shantaji.
Thank you.
Okay. Prabhaji, go ahead.
हाँ, मैं बहुत थोड़ा बोलूंगी. मुझे लग रहा है आपको जल्दी हो रही है, तो जो छोटा सा मैं बोलूंगी. सिर्फ इतना बोलना चाहती हूँ कि हमारा खुद का व्यवहार ही बच्चों को सिखा देता है. बच्चों को सिखाने की जरूरत नहीं पड़ती. जो हम सिखाएंगे ना, उसको तो वो लेगा ही नहीं कभी भी. वो लेगा जो उसने हमारे अंदर से लेना है या बाहर वालों से लेना है. they select their things by their self. मैंने एक जगह लिख रखा था अपनी, जो कुछ लिखा था कि परख के बारे में, बड़ों से बात करने का तरीका आपकी तमीज बताता है और छोटों से बात करने का तरीका आपकी परवरिश बताता है. अपने शब्दों की ताकत को समझिए. कहीं लिखा था मैंने, तो सही बात है इसमें ना कि हम जो भी बोलते हैं, कैसे बोलते हैं, हमारी बॉडी लैंग्वेज क्या बोल रही है, और कुछ भी ना बोलो, बोले ना पता लग गया नेग्लेक्ट कर रहा है, बॉडी
बिल्कुल
लैंग्वेज ज्यादा पावरफुल
yeah.
होती है।
Thank you Prabhaji. Gulnaz, go ahead.
हम समटाइम्स ये होता है कि हम लोग नहीं चाहते कि हम लोगों के बच्चे जो हैं वो हर्ट हो किसी चीज से, तो हमारा जो एक्सपीरियंस होता है हम लोग वो उन पे करने की कोशिश करते हैं कि वो उस सिचुएशन से ना गुजरे, तो लेकिन बच्चों को वो समझ नहीं आ रहा होता, तो इस वजह से वो फील करते हैं और हम लोग उनको बचा रहे होते हैं, दोनों अपनी जगह पे ठीक होते हैं।
Okay. Thank you for that, Gulnaz. Okay, I'm going to touch on it really quick and then we're going to move on. अब बच्चों के साथ ये है, and मेरे भी बच्चे अब बड़े हो गए हैं, उनके भी आगे से बच्चे हैं. So my thing is कि जब मेरे बच्चे छोटे थे, compared to all of my friends, one thing that I used to do different is मैं सबको यही कहती थी कि बच्चे जो हैं, they don't belong to us, right? हमारी responsibility है उनके लिए. Like they have a responsibility to us as kids, but the responsibility that parents have to their children is कि आप उनको तमीज सिखाएं, आप उनको nurture करें, आप उनको सिखाएं कि वो अपने पैरों पे कैसे खड़े हों, right? And the way to do that, what I found just that I did is when my kids were little, I got down to their level and I would try to see things from their point of view. Because the thing is कि मेरे जो experiences हैं, like Gulnaz is saying कि हम experience से गुजर चुके हैं, and we know ये करोगे तो इसका ये होगा आगे से. But we went through our experience. We have to give them the right to go through their own experiences, as long as it's within reason. Like we're not going to let them go do something that's harmful to them. But if they do something and then they're going to learn, okay, I did this, iska outcome acha nahi hua, next time they won't do it. But we can't stop them from doing something because we did it and it was bad. We can't project what we went through on our children. We have to give them the space ताकि वो अपने पैरों पे कैसे खड़े होंगे अगर हम हर कदम पे उनको बचाते रहेंगे. They need to learn and they need to have the space to learn. So as parents, within reason, but we have to give them the space. And this whole हमारा जो culture है, इसका concept जो कि लोग क्या कहेंगे, I don't believe in that, because वो लोग क्या कहेंगे बात जो है ना, उससे it's too much pressure. And जिस तरीके से हमारे parents ने हमें बड़ा किया है, हमारे बच्चे जो हैं, हम उनको वैसे नहीं कर सकते. We can't. असली नहीं होगा. It's a different generation. It's a different time. It's a different environment. It's a different world altogether. So we have to understand कि वो जो बड़े हो रहे हैं, वो किस चीज से गुजर रहे हैं, and we have to be the support that they need so that they can make the best decisions for themselves. Yes, Rivaji, go ahead.
हर जनरेशन को लगता है कि उनके बच्चे ठीक नहीं है. हमारे पेरेंट्स को भी शायद यही लगता था.
Absolutely.
हम उस तरह से नहीं हो रहे थे. हमको लगता है कि हम बहुत अच्छे थे. So ये जनरेशन गैप इसी को कहते हैं, और it is going to be there forever. अब अगर हम फ्रेंड्स बन सकते हैं तो बन ले. That is the, मेरे को ऐसा लगता है, that is the only thing which we can do to them. फिर भी उन्होंने अपने वो करना ही है, एक्सपीरियंसेस करने ही है. जरूरी नहीं है कि माँ बाप अच्छे हों तो बच्चे भी अच्छे होते हैं. बहुत गलत तरह से भी हो सकता है, क्योंकि there are so many things which matter in their lives. Their peers matter the most. उसके अलावा आप आज देखिए सोशल मीडिया और कितना जबरदस्त इन्फ्लुएंस है उसका. वीडियो गेम्स आ गई हैं, घर का काम कोई कर नहीं रहा है. So there are many things which they are also undergoing lot of pressures from all through. So आप सिर्फ उनको प्यार दें as a mother. कुछ नहीं चलने वाला, जल्दी नहीं वाला कुछ भी.
Absolutely. And आप बिल्कुल सही कह रही हैं रिवा जी, that उनके साथ relationship develop करें, because वो जैसे बड़े होते जाएंगे, they're going to become more and more independent, and you're going to be more and more hands-off parent. But you have to somehow establish a relationship, because अगर parent sibling की relationship नहीं होगी ना, उसका असर आपके overall well-being पे बहुत होगा. ठीक है? Gulnaz, next slide, please. Okay. So we've gone through relationships. We've gone through the physical health. We've gone through emotional health. Now let's look at nutrition. ठीक है? This is a little bit of a long topic. I'm going to try to go fast because there's काफी चीजें हैं. But let's talk about nutrition. So we've all heard that we are what we eat. ठीक है? सबने ये सुना है. You are what you eat, right? And this is a great way for us to look at nutrition as a holistic way to maintain our health. ठीक है? Our physical health, चलो. But did you know that what you eat also has an impact on your mental and emotional health as well? Because हम यही सोचते हैं ना कि okay, eat this, it's good for your physical health, energy मिलेगी, muscles बनेंगे, whatever. But did you know, and this is actually true, कि जो हम खाते हैं उसका सिर्फ physical health पे असर नहीं होता, but उसका mental health and emotional health पे भी काफी असर होता है. And did you know that we can eat certain foods to boost our mood, to reduce our stress, and to help with cognition and even memory as we age? There's foods for all of these things, right? So many of us eat as per our cravings. ठीक है? I mean, cravings तो सबको होती हैं, right? Like कोई ना कोई. Sometimes you crave sweet, sometimes you crave salty. But the thing is that food is our fuel. ठीक है? And just car, जैसे गाड़ी में अगर आप proper fuel नहीं डालेंगे, the car, it won't run properly. Same with the body. If you don't put the proper fuel in the body, it's not going to work at its optimal level. Well, it won't be its best. So when choosing what to eat, we need to look at the purpose that food is serving for our body. ठीक है? And so a balanced intake throughout the day of, high fiber carbohydrates, lean protein, the good heart healthy fats, that's what we need throughout the day. Now I talked about cravings, and I know a lot of people have different eating habits. So when we have cravings, there's a couple of things we can consider and just think about कि हमें cravings क्यों हो रही हैं. So especially like we usually if the cravings come, it's going to be like, something salty or you need something sweet. तो इस किस्म की cravings क्यों हो रही हैं? So the first thing I want to consider is maybe you're starving yourself. Okay, and what that means is you're not getting enough nutrients early in the day, right? So we have these salt and sugary cravings late in the day or in the evening. And iska matlab ye hai ki I know a lot of people ki subah bas chai or toast le liya, lunch mein maybe salad kha liya ya lunch skip kar liya, and then by the time dinner comes, then they're feeling hungry. So wo dinner theek thaak khate hain, and then they say to themselves, but I don't eat anything, main din mein ek hi dafa khati hu, right? But that's unhealthy. Because what's happening is you're not getting enough nutrients early in the day. And when you don't have enough nutrients early in the day, aapki jo body hai, how is it going to carry you through everything, through all the thoughts, through all the emotions, through all the, the interactions and relationships and kaam karna and all of these social activities? How will it happen, right? When we go too long without eating, what happens is the body starts to crave the quickest fuel. I apologize for the crying. My grandson does not want to go to bed and it's bedtime. Give me 1 second. I'm so sorry. Okay. So what I was saying, when we go too long without eating, our body will start to crave the quickest fuel. And the quickest fuel is going to be refined grains and simple sugars. Okay? And having these late in the day means that those calories are going to get stored at fat. तो ये जो कॉन्सेप्ट है ना कि सुबह बिल्कुल हल्का खाना, लंच स्किप करना और डिनर में एक ही दफा दिन में खाना है, it's not an effective routine, and it's not going to give you what you need for your body to provide for you what you need. Okay, the other thing we can consider is that we don't realize how addictive sugar and salt can be. So sometimes we say, okay, you know what, that's it. I'm going on a health food diet and I'm completely cutting sugar. Bilkul maine ab chini nahi khani. I'm going to cut out salt. I'm going to use other spices to, take the place of salt. But what happens is that we sometimes end up binging. So during the day, we're going in, thoda sa ye kha liya, thoda sa wo kha liya, or we just give up completely and we go back to our old eating habits. And why does that happen? Why are we craving the sugar and the salt? Well, for one thing, it tastes really good and this makes us happy, right? If you eat something and aapka dil khush hota hai, why aren't you going to want it? Then we want to have that again. But sugar actually releases chemicals that make us feel good. So it's not just like, okay, I'm just thinking that I feel better, but sugar actually releases chemicals that make us feel good. And if we know, okay, I felt good, then we want to have that over and over again. And this creates a cycle because jo hum khate hain, then our taste buds typically wohi cheese crave hogi because that's what we're accustomed to. Okay? The other thing to consider is you're not listening to your body. So sometimes, like maybe when you're tired or, you're more likely to turn to whatever you like, when we're tired, sometimes we don't realize that we're tired and we feel like, okay, I need to eat something. And jo kuch bhi samne aata hai, we want to eat that, right? Because we feel like I just need some energy. I just need to wake up. I just have, have to get through this. But the next time that happens and you're feeling like that, aap apne aap se puche and just socho, okay, what is my stress level like? Because agar aapko stress zyada hai us waqt, then the body's ability to regulate sodium is affected by stress. And so then we start to have cravings for salty foods. Okay? And sometimes when we have a craving, we're not actually craving something, we're just thirsty. So, next time when you feel like you need to have something right away, have a drink of water first, pani pilo, and see, maybe it goes away. Because sometimes we misinterpret, we make a mistake and we think that dehydration is actually hunger, but it's not. And just on this point, I'll just throw it out there as well, that to know the right amount of water for your body type. Does anybody know how to do that? Okay, so basically what you're doing is you take your weight, not in kilograms, in pounds. So aapki jo weight hai in pounds, you divide that by 2. And that number in ounces is the right amount of water, typically the right amount of water for your body type. Okay? So it's half your body weight in ounces. Now, we know making changes to the way that we eat can be challenging, and getting into the habit of doing something new is, like I said before, it's easier said than done. But it's important for us to understand what may be happening, that's causing our cravings, so that next time when it happens, we understand and we can maybe make a healthy food choice, and that will help us to make changes that will last, instead of just saying, okay, I'm going to completely quit, and then you can't maintain that. So we have to find some kind of a balance. But the way that we're going to do it is first, हमें समझनी चाहिए कि ये क्यों हो रहा है हमारे साथ, ठीक है? And
water intake, what you are telling is formula weight divided by 2. This is for full day or one time?
No, full day.
Full day.
full day.
Okay,
Yeah,
thank
yeah.
you.
तो
Okay.
आपकी जो weight है उसको आप आधा करें and
Yeah,
वो
yeah.
number
Got it.
and weight pounds में, kilograms में नहीं करना.
Yeah, yeah.
Pounds में, ठीक है? Okay. Also, it's important for us to understand portion size. Okay. So when we talk about portion size, this is another thing I really want to just bring to everyone's attention. There are certain things that we have to pay attention to. First of all, when we sit down to have a meal, a good serving is 400 to 600 calories, okay, per serving. Okay? And in that, we should have good fats. So good fats, how do we measure? And good fats, I mean, coconut oil, and this is for each meal. This is a balanced meal, okay? So for good fats, we can choose like coconut oil, olive oil, avocado oil, or those kind of, healthy cooking oils, okay? What's a good portion for fat? The tip of your thumb. So you see that first section of your thumb, the tip of your thumb, that's roughly a good portion size for the healthy fats. Okay? Then if we look at vegetables, we're talking about like raw vegetables or cooked veggies or, vegetable soups or, fresh fruit. If you're looking at like those fresh vegetables, a healthy serving is 2 handfuls. Okay? That's for one meal. So when you have vegetables on your plate, we take a handful, 2 handfuls will be 1 serving. Okay. And then what about protein? So protein, we want to have a healthy protein, like a lean protein. And there's different things we can choose, poultry, we can go veal or beef, we can go fish, we can go eggs, we can maybe do some like low-fat dairy. But a good serving portion of protein is the palm of your hand. So if you look at the palm of your hand, that's a good size for protein serving. Okay? Now, if we're talking about complex carbs, and carbs come into their complex carbs and there's simple carbs. The simple carbs are the ones that, will just have a quick rush to your bloodstream. We want complex carbs. Complex carbs are a slow release and they're healthier for us, okay? Complex carbs are things like grains or quinoa or brown rice or like sweet potatoes instead of white potatoes, sweet potatoes. Maybe we can have some legumes, just hamari dalein hoti hain. Those are good complex carbs, okay? And a good portion size for that is the size of your fist, okay? That's a good portion size for the complex carbs. Okay, that if you do that much for each plate, that's a good 400 to 600 serving, and that's what the body can deal with per serving. Yes, Revaji, go ahead.
The measurements you are giving us is dried or cooked ones?
Cooked, going on your plate.
Cooked mein
because if we do brown rice, like a handful, like it multiplies by 3 when you cook rice. Okay, 1 cup बनाओगे तो so we want the cooked.
पर ये तो बहुत कम नहीं हो गया? आपने कहा इतना वो खाना है, तो बंदे पराठा बनाया और उसके ऊपर इतना मक्खन क्या बनेगा?
That's your choice.
That's your choice.
But agar makhan nahi kare, then if you do just say, you can put olive oil. Just hum kabhi banate hain like a paratha.
You eat olive oil with paratha.
Oh yeah, you can. Aadat ho jati hai. Remember what you eat, usi ki phir cravings hoti hai, right? So I know paratha banate.
Desi ghee is good.
Desi ghee is good.
Aloo ka paratha with olive oil wala
we cook everything in olive oil. We do everything in olive oil. But yeah, Gulnaz is right. Desi ghee is healthy. And
इनके घर चलना चाहिए खाना खाने के लिए.
मैं भी देसी घी यूज करती हूँ.
No, I have an idea. If you take a small plate, the plate size has to be small, and you go, you get up again and again to fill it. So you tend to eat less.
Yeah.
And you keep small katoris. So that also helps you, because your brain gets the message that you have taken 2 times
Already
or 3
मैंने खा
times,
लिया,
then you
yeah.
tend to eat less. ये तो हो
Yeah.
सकता है पर परांठी के साथ मक्खन
But or आप ऐसे कर सकते हैं
पंजाबी में इसको कहेंगे कि अगर आप छोटी कटोरी में दही ले रहे हो ना, तो पंजाबी में तो इसको हम कहते हैं कि ये खट्टा रखा है कि दही रखे है. तो कटोरी won't matter. Even if the plate is small and it is a heaped one, then it won't make any difference.
No, I hear what you're saying. And again, अगर हमारी एक चीज की आदत है, then उसको completely बदलना is going to be hard. But अगर हम थोड़ा उसको कम करते जाएं, तो eventually it will be fine, right? And जैसे गुलनाज कह रही है, अगर हम देसी घी से बनाएं, then all you need really is a brush, and we'll brush कर लें उस पे. We don't have to put like piles of it, right? तो थोड़ा सा हल्का सा brush कर दें, and then you make it. बन जाता है.
This is too less. What you are giving us, it is too less.
आप ज़्यादा कर सकती हैं, but I'm just
रेवा ये 1 serving है. तू जिस दिन पराठा खाना हो, उस दिन तू 3 डलियां डाला कर पराठे की, और फिर बाकी 2 जगह थोड़ा पराठे ना खाया कर सारा दिन.
Okay. Chalo, let's move on. So ये हो गया ना, with the servings and everything. No, I'm still on that nutrition. I'm still on the nutrition class. I just have a little bit left. So I personally also believe it's important for us to supplement our diet. And the reason I say that is because जो हमारे खाने होते हैं ना, even अगर हम organic खाएं, even अगर हम कोशिश करके fruits and vegetables खाएं ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा, the issue is कि हमारे जो खाने की चीजें हैं ना, उनमें इतनी nutrients नहीं हैं आज जो पहले होती थी. So you have to eat how many apples in order to get the same nutrients that maybe our grandmother got from 1 apple. ठीक है? So it's not possible that हर रोज हम वो खाना खाएं जिससे हमें पूरी nutrients मिले. We cannot consume that much food, right? Well, like it's just too much food to consume. So I think it's important for us to look at supplementing, because we can get our vitamins and minerals through the supplements that we have. Now, when I said to supplement, I said vitamins and minerals, because coffee, or actually the understanding is that like काफी लोग जाते हैं to the health food store and वो vitamins खरीद के, they'll say, okay, I'm just taking my vitamin and that's it. Like, but the thing is कि अगर हमें minerals की deficiency, and most people have mineral deficiencies as well. अगर हमें minerals की deficiency है, then when you take those vitamins, the body cannot fully utilize the vitamins, because the minerals and the vitamins together are like a catalyst for each other. So to get the best benefit, we have to make sure कि हम vitamins भी ले रहे हैं, minerals भी ले रहे हैं. ठीक है? And also eating a variety of the right foods gives us a healthy microbiome. The type of food we choose to eat doesn't just impact our physical health, but also our brains. And so we need to understand the connection between our nutrition and our mental health. And in order to understand that, we need to understand the connection between our gut health and our brain. And this is such an important piece, guys. कि काफी लोग जो हैं, they're not even aware of this. But this is such an important piece, because for our mental health, if we have an unhealthy gut, it's going to have a direct impact on our mental health. And in fact, the gut is now being called our second brain. And the connection between the gut and the brain is called the gut-brain axis. And there's study after study of जो हमें दिखाते हैं कि that having a healthy gut-brain connection is the foundation for our physical and mental well-being. In fact, there was a study that was done where the gut microbiota from a depressed patient was transplanted into an animal And as a result, the animal developed depressive features. So it tells us there's a direct connection there. But understanding that we should be eating to nourish the body, not to feed our cravings, is key to our well-being. Okay? Okay, so we know food is comforting. We've all heard of comfort eating, right? Food is comforting and it can change how we feel, but reaching for comfort foods may not necessarily be good for our brain health, now that we understand the connection. Okay? So ask yourself if this is more out of habit than choice, right? Now that we, so now when you go to reach for something that you think is comfort food, apne aap se pucho, okay, is this just a habit that I have? Or am I mindfully choosing to have this? If you mindfully choose to have something, absolutely, it's fine. Don't feel guilty about it. Because ye baad mein jo hum apne aap guilt trips dete hain na, that's not healthy either. So choose what you choose for yourself, but be mindful of it, right? Also, as our mind is trained into associating certain foods with comfort, it seeks out those foods during the times that we're stressed, right? So it's really important. Again, we can go back to the emotional, why we need to manage our emotional feelings and be able to take care of our emotional health so that it can help us in this area with our health and with our nutrition, so we're not reaching for unhealthy comfort foods. Because this creates the habits. It creates circuits in the brain. So if you're eating poorly when you're stressed, this becomes the habit. And then if you allow it to continue, it's not going to one day just stop. You'll continue to choose those unhealthy foods. I also want to say that stress messes with your gut. So how many people, and I'll give you an example, like agar ekdam aap koi, news sunte hain and you feel a little bit uneasy, aapko pet mein ekdam kuch hota hai, right? Like you feel like the feeling in your gut, right? See, it's directly connected, right? It messes with our hormones. It causes anxiety. It causes stress. And all of that, it further affects the gut. And then when it further affects the gut, it further affects our mental health. And it's this cycle, and it exists, and it just keeps going. One affects the other, and then the more it continues, the more it affects. Okay? All right. Last thing I want to say about nutrition, and then we'll move on quickly, is that there are certain foods that you can eat to reduce stress. And the way to remember it is the acronym STRESS. STRESS. So S is for super dark chocolate. So if you like unsweetened dark chocolate with like 75%, dark chocolate, that's good for you. So choose that because it protects the brain against oxidative stress and improves our ability to react to the stressors of daily life. Tea, and I think many of us know this, but tea is, try ashwagandha. And ashwagandha is an herb that we should all be familiar with. It's an adaptogenic supplement, and it's been shown to be effective in improving anxiety and depression. Okay? Should be part of your daily routine. R is for the rainbow of veggies. So eat as many colors as you can because this is good for the microbes in your gut. Okay? E is eat those berries. So berries are packed with antioxidants and fiber to help reduce neuroinflammation. Blackberries, blueberries, raspberries, strawberries, all of them are great choices. S for spices and herbs. Okay? So we can use those to reduce anxiety, especially like hamari haldi hoti hai. That's actually really great for reducing. It's anti-inflammatory, so it's really good for that. And if you put a pinch of black pepper with it, it's neuroprotective as well. And then the last S is for salads with lots of greens. Okay? And that helps again with the neurotransmitters. It helps to prevent fatigue, anxiety, and brain fog. Okay, how are we doing so far? Everybody following? We're good? Yeah. Okay.
Yes, very nice.
Okay, awesome. Okay, Gulnaz.
Good.
Thank you.
So
yes, who's
next is fun.
Next one is fun.
Yeah, very important.
Very important. Okay, let's get rid of the slide. Let's talk about fun. Okay, so as we get older and busier, you know, how many lifestyles जो हैं, they keep us busy and we forget about having fun, right? And I know some people, and I'm this person as well, that I say I love doing what I do. And for me, it doesn't feel like work because I enjoy it, right? But I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about having fun for the sake of having fun, right? Have you ever watched kids, like जब बच्चे खेल रहे होते हैं, it's so freestyle, it's unstructured, they're in the moment, right? उनको कितना मजा आता है. It's just fun watching them, ठीक है? I'm talking about that kind of fun because having fun is actually good for you, right? Aside from the obvious जो हम सोचते हैं कि okay, it's a temporary distraction, stress से, or you know जो हमारी ज़्यादा सोच है उससे थोड़ा सा distraction हो जाता है. That's the obvious, but it also allows you to connect with yourself and learn about yourself, right? अगर you know everything that we're talking about, our health and our well-being and overall, अगर हम अपने आप को नहीं जानेंगे, अगर हम अपने आप को पहचानेंगे नहीं, we don't know कि किस चीजों से हमें खुशी मिलती है, किस चीज हमें अच्छी लगती है, then how can we go about taking care of ourselves? We don't know what to take care of because we don't know ourselves. Having fun allows you to let go of the seriousness and learn about yourself. Right? And that's healthy because you become more aware of your wants, your needs, and your desires. Yes, Riva, go ahead.
खुश आदमी है ना वो खुशी बांटेगा और जो दुखी आदमी है वो दुख बांटेगा. So इसलिए because when we retire and we are confined to homes, it is very very important to have time for yourself, make good friends. और अब एक स्टडी ये भी आई है कि अल्जाइमर और डिमेंशिया को हटाने के लिए you must go once or twice in a month out with your friends.
Yeah,
very right.
और उनके साथ जाके बच्चे बन जाओ बस.
Yeah.
And make it sure कि अपने घर वाले बच्चे जो हैं, अगर आप बच्चे संभाल रहे हैं, अपने ग्रैंड चिल्ड्रन संभाल रहे हैं, तो आप उनको बोलिए अपने बच्चों को कि ये हमारा टाइम है एंड आई वांट टू हैव दिस टाइम. ओवर रिस्पॉन्सिबल होने की कोई जरूरत नहीं है बिकॉज अगर अल्जाइमर और डिमेंशिया हो गया तो किसने तुम्हारी हेल्प करनी है?
Exactly.
These are two diseases which are catching up very fast with the old people because they are not taking care of their mental health. और उसके लिए आपके फ्रेंड्स के साथ टाइम स्पेंड करना बहुत जरूरी है. चाहे आपका हस्बैंड जितना मर्जी आपका अच्छा फ्रेंड है, still you need your friend
outside. Yeah.
Yes, go out for lunch, बना लो एक अपना ग्रुप, तो वो बहुत अच्छा रहता है. जब से मैंने पढ़ा है मैंने तो ये कर, वैसे भी आई एम वेरी
हम आ जाएंगे आपके यहाँ परोठे खाने आ जाएंगे आपके यहाँ.
आइए, मैं तो बहुत ही फन लविंग हूँ और मैं तो महीने में 2 क्या, मैं तो हर हफ्ते में एक बार अपने फ्रेंड्स के साथ आई गो आउट फॉर लंच.
Excellent. That's beautiful. Okay, so what we were saying, so reconnecting with our playful and creative self, it also makes us remember that kaun si cheezon se hame joy milta hai, right? Like what things give us joy? You know, sometimes main kisse baat kar rahi hoti hu and I ask them, what is it that you want? And people can tell me everything that they don't want, but they don't know what they want, right? Because we don't spend time thinking about the things that we want. We only focus on the things that we're fed up of, the things that we're tired of, and the things that we don't want. So let's change that. Let's start to have some fun and let's focus on the things that we want. And let's, you know, reinvent ourselves because as we age, hamari khwahishein bhi badalti hain. So we need to explore this area ताकि हमें, you know, we have a healthy piece of our life that is dedicated to having fun, right? In fact, just like you were saying, Riva, like, there's lots of research done on these things, and playing like a kid actually helps adults live happier and more satisfying and healthier lives, playing like a kid. So if you have kids in your life, take advantage of getting down to their level, seeing things from their eyes, from their perspective, and really just be a kid for a day and see what that's like. Aapka dil khush ho jata hai. So like I mentioned earlier, it can distract us from stress and worries. It can help us to loosen up and put our burdens down. We're so tired all the time because burdens or stress ke saath phir rahe hote hain. We just carry it on our shoulders and we don't realize. So if we just let ourselves know, we can actually put those things down for a while. And like Reva was saying, it benefits our mental health in many ways. And again, if you have good mental health, you're more likely to have good physical health. Okay, let's go on, Gulnaz. Okay, so the next one, we've gone through all of them. Now we are at financial. Okay, financial. Okay. So how many people, okay, thanks. How many people, when I was talking about our, wellness, how many people thought about our financial wellness? Anyone? It's often, oh, you did. Excellent, Rib. I'm so happy. Because most people, thank you, Ms. Aloka. Most people, they don't think about our financial well-being as an important piece for our overall well-being. Now that we're going to talk about it, it's like, oh yeah, that just makes sense. But when we first think about, okay, I want to get healthy. We all want to get healthy, right? For one reason or another. But how many of us think, you know what? I want to focus on my financial health. I want to take the time. So like other areas of our life, we've been speaking about, financial wellness has an impact on our overall health and well-being. But again, most people fail to see the importance of it. Ensuring the ability to effectively manage your current and your future economic life. Can you imagine? Like that can just help lower stress levels, right? And stress related to money can affect every aspect of our life, because not just our emotional or our physical, but it's going to affect every area, because it's going to affect we're not going to want to have fun, we're going to have issues with our relationships, all the other areas in our life are going to be affected. Maybe you lose your appetite, you don't feel like eating. It's going to affect your sleep. We're going to come to sleep in a moment, but all of those things get affected if you have stress that's financial stress or related to money. Financial wellness is being able to meet your current and future financial obligations. It's feeling secure about your financial future and making choices that that allow you to enjoy your life, right? Tracking your expenses, making a budget and sticking to it, because how many of us have made a budget and we don't stick to it? So that's no good. So making a budget and sticking to it, these are important skills that we have to learn if we want to be financially responsible and independent. Okay? So some of the things that we can ask ourselves when we're exploring or learning about financial health is, do I have a healthy, happy, stress-free relationship with my finances? Or do I don't even want to look at my bank statement? We have to really look at these things. And remember I said doing this work is not easy because it requires us to be honest with ourselves. So if we have a habit of buying things when they're on sale because we don't want to miss out on the sale, maybe we need to look at that, right? How much do I know about money and budgeting, right? What are the best practices to manage, earn, spend, and save money? This is what we have to really focus on. What are the best practices to manage, earn, spend, and save money? Okay? What can I learn about debt? And how do I better manage my own debt? Right? Do I know what my credit score is? Do I even know what a credit score is? And if you do you know what your credit score is? Or do you know how to build good credit? Right? Do you manage your own personal accounts? Like, do you pay your own bills? Do you make a plan, or do you have a plan to repay loans if you have borrowed money? Right? You know, a lot of us, if we are married, maybe we don't take care of these things. Our spouse takes care of them. What if something happens to your spouse and they're no longer able to take care of that and the responsibility falls on your shoulders? Are you able to do it? You don't have to do it if your spouse is taking care of it, but you have to know how to do it. So that if that day comes that the responsibility comes on us, that अब सारे bills जो हैं पे करने हमने संभालना है, banking का हमने सब कुछ करना है. We need to know the in and outs of our personal accounts. We need to know how, you know, to move the money around to make sure that we don't fall behind, right? Something important that we don't think about, but am I in a position to donate to a cause, right? अगर हमारे जो finances है वो हमें पता ही नहीं है, how much is coming in, how much is going out, how much do we have saved? You know, are we able to donate to a cause? Because giving back to the community, giving back to society, sometimes we want to donate. You can't do that if you don't know the condition of your financial situation. So if donating is something that's important to you, how can I fit that into my budget? This is something that we have to focus on, right? How do I leverage my money? How can I invest my money in a way where I can get my money working for me, right? And then do I have a plan for my future, right? Do I have long-term investments, or am I just living for today and I'll see, you know, like, do I have a plan for my future? These are all questions जो हम अपने आप से पूछें so that we can get an idea of where we are with our financial health. ठीक है? How are we doing so far, guys? Everyone okay? सब ठीक है?
Very nice, very nice.
Okay,
So interesting.
thank you. Okay, Gulnaz, let's go to the next one. Okay, sleep. All right. So in today's world, you know, like hum sab itne busy hote hain. Wow, we've done a lot of work, guys. Okay, so we're at sleep. Thank you, Gulnaz. In today's world, you know, where everything is available to us, unfortunately, a good night's sleep is one that many people are struggling with, right? हमारे लिए सब कुछ available है, but how many people say, I just want a good night's sleep? वो कितना मुश्किल होता है to get a good night's sleep? Why is that? You know, for many of us, sleep is not high on our priority list, but it should be. Because जब हमारी sleep जब नहीं होती ना पूरी, it has a huge impact on our health, on all areas of our health. Because sleep is vital to our well-being, right? Our body needs sleep to maintain critical body function. Like जो हमारे body के functions है ना, like restoring energy, you know, allowing the brain to process information, repairing muscle tissue. ये सारी चीजें जो हैं, the body can take care of it जब हम सोते हैं. And if we don't have a good night's sleep and we don't get enough sleep, then what happens is that it affects our ability to focus and think clearly. We start to have memory issues. Our ability to manage our emotions, that's affected. And we have a weakened immune system. Okay? And if we don't do something about it, and we'll, you know, the sleep deprivation, like agar wo continues, right? then we're at a higher risk for serious health conditions like body inflammation. You know, we have body inflammation. Many people have body inflammation. We have issues with diabetes, cardiovascular disease, obesity, depression. Those are just a few things, right? And the longer that we go without adequate sleep, it just adds up and it gets worse. The problems just continue to get worse. So when we're looking at getting a better night's sleep, and I'll ask if anybody has anything they want to share, but when we're looking at getting a better night's sleep, some of the things that we have to focus on are, you know, having a nighttime routine. And I've said this, you know, about having a morning routine. Have a nighttime routine. So nighttime routine mein kya hota hai? It could be, okay, सोने से 1 घंटे पहले maybe lights dim kar dein. Maybe you stop using your device. Maybe, you know, you change into your pajamas. Like you're telling your mind it's time to start to slow down. It's time to relax. It's time to get ready to go to sleep. Okay? Avoid things like caffeine or nicotine or alcohol. If that has an impact on you, then avoid those things if you know it's going to disrupt your sleep. If you have an issue, if you've had an issue where people have told you that you snore, or maybe and then while you're sleeping, you wake up like trying to grasp for air, or you feel like you're choking or something, you might have an issue with sleep apnea. So it's important that you can go to your doctor, you can get tested for sleep apnea, and they'll give you like a machine that you can use that will help you to sleep so that you don't have those interruptions. You don't stop breathing when you're sleeping. Okay? Other things we can do is make sure the temperature in the room is comfortable. Make sure that if you like the room dark, then make sure that, you know, all the lights, even the hallway lights, so nothing comes in. Maybe have curtains so that the moonlight doesn't come in. You have to see कि आपके लिए जो अच्छा है, जो आपको suit करता है, you have to do that. Sometimes maybe like even sleep with a sleep mask, right? I like to sleep with a sleep mask. I like when it's like just dark, so I like to sleep with a sleep mask. I like to make sure that there's no sounds. So sometimes like a washroom ka fan on reh jata hai, I have to get up and I have to go shut it because the sound bothers me, right? You have to see all of these things because we don't realize it, but if it's bothering you, it's going to interrupt or disrupt your sleep. Okay? How are we doing so far? Anybody have any questions or anything to add? How about just anything that you do that helps you sleep?
Sleep you should have dinner 2 hours before you sleep. Take like dinner, drink enough water during the day, hydrate yourself so that you don't need to drink water after you are once you are asleep. And there has to be maintenance of time. Like there has to be a time when you decide that you have to go to sleep and go to your bed, and I don't have any problem with sleep because I follow my time.
That's excellent,
I follow
Reva.
my time. And then I get up also early in the morning. I have my time because earlier I used to face some problem with sleep, and I stopped using my device, like checking my messages half an hour before I have to go to sleep, because the light which comes from the mobile, it just, you cannot sleep with that affects your brain. Maybe
it stimulates the brain.
Even if some message come, because I switched off all the notifications on my phone, other than that if some phone comes, a call comes, so there are no notifications. Nothing is going to happen. Heaven is not going to fall if you will not check your message for sleep. So these are few things which I developed from my experience, that if once I pass my time 10:30, 11 when I sleep, then I have problem in falling asleep. So this is what I do for my sleep.
Yeah, that's excellent. Thank you for sharing that.
One more thing I want to share, how sleep is so comforting. A person with having having an operation or maybe having severe pain, and when he goes off to sleep, he doesn't feel any pain. So that means sleep is so comforting. There are three parts of the sleep.
Yes.
One is when you just go to the sleep, then is a dreaming part, and then it is a deep sleep part. In
Yes.
deep sleep, you do not dream, you do not think, like you get up early in the morning, you think, पता नहीं लगा 3-4 घंटे कैसे बीत गए. Those are the 3-4 hours in which your body regenerates itself.
Yes.
That is very important part of your sleep.
Yeah, awesome.
Try to think about sleep. Try to think about the uses or the benefits of sleep, like that. So then you can take, as you said, that you should give importance to sleeping. That is
Yes, it should be high on our priority list. Yeah. Thank you for sharing that, Revachi. Zubda, go ahead.
हाँ जी, जो पीरियड मेरा था स्ट्रगल का, जो स्ट्रेस का था, उसमें मेरी नींद बहुत ख़राब थी. तो उसके बाद जब मैं थोड़ा अपने आप को मैं स्टेप बाय स्टेप मेरे हालात अच्छे होते गए, तो मेरी नींद अच्छी होती गई. तो अब थैंक गॉड कि अब यह है कि मैं बड़ा पुरसुकून सोती हूँ. सुबह 5:30 पे उठ जाती हूँ. तो आफ्टर इशा जो है नमाज के बाद फिर मेरी होती है कोशिश कि चलो भाई अब सो जाओ, अब कोई काम नहीं है. तो बहुत शुक्र करती हूँ कि मेरी नींद बहुत अच्छी है. कभी कभी होता है कि स्ट्रेस जब मुझे कोई आ जाए अंदर, तो उस वक्त ये होता है कि रात को कितनी दफ़ा आँख खुलती है, बेचैनी बहुत ज़्यादा होती है. लेकिन फिर अपना पढ़ के फिर मैं कहती हूँ कि नहीं, अब मैंने सोना है. तो बहुत मैं शुक्र करती हूँ कि मेरी नींद बहुत अच्छी हो गई हुई है, और डिपेंड ऑन अल्लाह, इसलिए सुकून से सो जाते हैं.
Excellent. Thank you for sharing that.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
absolutely. And I just want to touch on the importance of the routines. To say Revachi Nabi Kai, Zubda Nabi Kai, routine is so important. Agar hum we set the time ke hum is waqt soenge, and every day we try to sleep at that time, adjustment ho jati hai. ठीक है? Maybe even if you're starting to change, just say agar if you stay up until 2 o'clock in the morning and 6 o'clock in the morning aap uth rahe, it's not enough time. So you need to start to go to bed earlier. But agar ye aapki aadat ho gayi hai from 2 to 6, and then you say, okay, now I'm going to go to bed at 10 o'clock. So 3 baje aap uth ke bed jayenge, and you're going to say, okay, now what should I do? Okay? So what we have to do is we have to train ourselves. So instead of going 2 o'clock, up 1 baje lete, right? Then from 1 o'clock, then you go back a little bit earlier, until you have a good night's sleep. And for, most everyone that's here, our age, we're looking at like about 7 to 9 hours, maybe 8 hours we need of sleep, uninterrupted if possible. And how many of us can say that we get up every day and we get that much sleep and it's a good night's sleep? Not many of us, because परेशानियां होती हैं, हमारा सोच कहीं और होता है, हम कोशिश करें कि हम सोएंगे. It's not going to work. We have to start to mentally prepare ourselves कि अब सोने का वक्त है, and this is what I'm going to do. And you can make a list कि okay, कल ये चीजें मैंने करनी है. But I always suggest to everyone, as part of your nighttime routine, do a gratitude journal. A gratitude journal is so important. It can help to shift your mindset, and it helps you because you end the day in being in a place of being in gratitude. So what you're doing is have a journal on your nightside table, and every night, the last thing I want you to do before you lie down is write 3 to 5 things that you were grateful for that day. It doesn't have to be a sentence or a paragraph or anything. Bas 3 cheezein likh lein, 5 cheezein likh lein. I'm grateful for, and aap 3 to 5 things for that day. And maybe it's like, I'm grateful because aaj maine pure din mein pura pani piya jitna maine peena tha. It can be something like that. But write 3 things that you're grateful for. जब आप ये exercise शुरू करेंगे, आपके लिए शायद मुश्किल हो, because we're not in the habit of doing it. But as you continue it and do it daily, आसानी हो जाएगी. And what happens is कि आप जब सोते हैं, you're sleeping in a positive state of mind. That has an impact on your sleep. आप जब उठते हैं, you wake up having a good night's sleep, or at least better sleep. So you have a positive outlook when you wake up in the morning. And by doing this consistently, हम train कर रहे हैं अपने दिमाग को कि throughout the day, the brain is going to start to look for things that you're grateful for, because it knows at the end of the day, I have to make this list. It's going to start looking for things to be grateful for. That itself is amazing. And then, yes, life happens. Maybe after a week or 2-3 hafte ke baad, you have a really difficult time. But then, aap kya kare? Open that gratitude journal and aap padhe. Maine kitni cheezein likhi hain. And it's going to shift your mood. It's going to help you. So that's why I say to everyone, the last thing before you go to sleep, before you lie down, write 3 to 5 things in your gratitude journal. Okay, Gulnaz, let's go on to the next one. And this is the last. So hopefully we can wrap it up. I might go a little bit over. Yes. Okay. Spiritual. Okay. How could we talk about well-being without talking about spiritual health? So I like to say that we are spiritual beings and we're having a human experience. This is what I like to say. You know, we consider ourselves human beings, but I like to think, in a sense, we're actually spiritual beings and we're just having a human experience. Okay? Spiritual wellness is being connected to something greater than yourself. It's expanding like a sense of purpose and meaning in your life, right? Including, it also includes having like a set of guiding beliefs or principles or values that help you to direct your life. It helps give direction to your life. And it's when our actions and intentions are in alignment. This is how I look at spiritual health, right? It's about being in harmony with our surroundings, with our personal needs, and with the needs of others, right? It's a way of life that maximizes harmony and minimizes harm to the environment. Tika, what's coming up for you guys? Are we all following? Yeah?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So, जब हम अपने spiritual health को explore कर रहे होते हैं, there are certain things that we can ask ourselves. And one of them is, am I fully present in everything I do? And that's a difficult one because we have so many habits and we just do things automatically. Like for example, अगर आप अपने neighborhood में walk के लिए जाएं, ठीक है? You go for a walk and then you come back after half an hour. आपको याद है कि आपने कितने घर देखे हैं, or if anybody had anything that you passed, or you know, something that crossed your path. We don't remember these things because we're in our thoughts and we're just kind of on automatic. It's, you know, and it's like our mind is taking us, it knows where to go, but we're not paying attention because we're not present in the moment. Another example is for anybody that drives, and if you listen to music, then when you are driving and you come home, can you remember the last 5 songs that were played? We can't. Right? Can you remember how many red lights you had? We can't. But we stopped at every one. We went when it was green, we stopped when it was, but we can't remember because we're not present. We're so caught up in our thoughts. And to really focus on our spiritual health, हमें अपने thoughts से निकल के ना, we have to be present and be aware कि हमारे surroundings में क्या हो रहा है, right? It's connecting with the things that are around us, creating that harmony. Another question we can ask ourselves is, do I see life's challenges as an opportunity for growth? So जब हमारे साथ कोई मुश्किल वक्त जिससे हम गुजर रहे होते हैं, you know, so many people are affected by it and they say, why is this happening to me? Right? Why is this? मेरे साथ क्यों हो रहा है? But what if we changed our focus? What if instead of saying, you know, why is this happening to me? We look at it and we say, you know, this is happening for me. Because जो हमारा मुश्किल वक्त होता है ना, when we go through it, we come out stronger on the other end, right? We learn new things about ourselves. We get new skills, right? जब हम कोई मुश्किल वक्त से हम गुजरते हैं या मुश्किल काम से हम गुजरते हैं. And the thing is, this is, if we're looking at spiritual health, that there's a higher power who's always guiding us. And that higher power is always going to give us exactly what we need at the right time that we need it. So sometimes we get ourselves in a place jahan pe hame nahi hona chahiye, and life situations will happen कि हम उस जगह से कहीं और चले जाते हैं. We change, whether it's, you know, with relationships, whether it's where we live, with anything in our life. But it's going through that process and coming out on the other end. What that does is it prepares us for the next thing that's supposed to come to us in our life. Because the way that we were before, we weren't prepared to receive this. But when we go through this challenge and we grow, now we're ready to receive the next best thing that's coming to us. And then we get comfortable again, or phir koi mushkil waqt aayega, and then we're going to have the opportunity to grow, and then we receive the next best thing. What if we looked at challenges that way? Then we wouldn't say, why is this happening to me? We would welcome these challenges because we would say, this is happening because I'm supposed to grow. Right? I already talked about this, but do I practice gratitude for life and all of its blessings? This is so important for our spiritual health. Do I pray? Do I meditate? Do I take time to reflect? Do I have awareness of myself and my surroundings? This one is key as well. Do I use my gifts to gain purpose, happiness, and enrichment as part of a balanced life? So many of us, we are stuck in a situation, or hum ye nahi sochte कि we've been gifted not just this life, but we have gifts, and our responsibility is to go out and share those gifts with the world, because what we have to offer is unique, and everyone has a gift. And when we get stuck and we say, oh, this is my situation and I can't do this, or I don't have any gift, we're not being grateful for what we've been gifted with. So we need to do all of those things that we talked about so that we can focus on self-reflection and learn about ourselves. And hum apne aap ko jaane. And jab hum apne aap ko janenge or pehchanenge, then we're going to recognize, okay, you know, this is my gift and I can do something to serve with this gift. And this is how I need to show up. And it's really about, you know, being who we are meant to be, our authentic self. So, as we've discussed today, and I'm mindful of time here, there's many key areas of our lifestyle. I just picked 8, but there's so many key areas of our lifestyles that require our attention in order to maintain healthy living. Like आज जिन चीजों से के बारे में हमने बात किया, अगर उनमें से एक भी हम छोड़ दें, it's going to have a negative impact on our health and our well-being, because हमें feel होगा something is off, something is missing. So all of those things we need to focus on. Now, we've been looking at this wheel, and you know, like the pie, but it's actually supposed to be a wheel. And every section is there. But what I'm going to do is make this, not this picture, but Gulnaz, if you can go to the next picture. Okay, oops. This here. So this is a wellness wheel that I'm going to make available for everyone to just download this, and you can print it out. It's just one page. And when you print it out, it has the same sections that we talked about. What you can notice is each section there's 10 spaces. Okay? So as you look at each area of your life, आप अपने आप से वो questions पूछें and be honest with yourself कि आपकी जिंदगी में, आपकी लाइफ में कौन सी एरिया पे है जो है आप ज्यादा attention दे रहे हैं, and कौन सी एरिया है जो आप neglect कर रहे हैं. And I want you to color in or just mark. So for example, अगर आपकी relationships जो हैं they're outstanding, maybe your relationship is a 9, तो आप 9 sections आप color कर दें. ठीक है? For perhaps you're too serious and you don't think about having fun, so maybe your level of fun is only a 2 or a 3. I want you to go through the whole thing, and then after you've done all the sections, look at it and आप अपने आप से पूछें कि if I roll this, will this wheel roll? If I push it, will it roll? In order for it to roll, there has to be a balance in all the areas. Everything doesn't have to be 10, but munasib, it has to be enough that if you rolled it, it would roll. And we can get rid of the screen, Gulnaz. So that's what I have for today. I just really want to thank everyone that participated. I hope that you found it helpful and beneficial. And I'm sorry I went a couple minutes over time, but Madan Uncle, you have to go ahead.
Thank you very much, Fazia ji. Very educational seminar, and I listened and I made 2 pages of notes.
Oh wow!
Like I can see, look at this page and the back page and another page. The last thing you were talking about, this wheel, you said you color it, right?
You can color it, or
okay.
You can shade it with a
question
pencil.
is, let's say, for example, on my fun part, I go from 1 to 4 or 1 to 5.
Okay.
Is that mean that I'm not fully having fun what I'm doing, or just that I'm enjoying half of it? What that mean be to coloring it?
Okay, so I'll give you an example, and I'll give you my own example. Okay? So sometimes what happens if in one area of my life, let's just say relationships, okay? If I'm having, you know, a misunderstanding, my husband and I, we don't agree on something, and we have like, you know, we're not agreeing, and there's misunderstandings happening, and we just see things differently. So what I might do is, rather than take the time to really, you know, focus and have the conversations and work on that, I might push myself more into my work, and I might, you know, spend more time doing my work. So what happens is there's an imbalance, right? So my work is getting a lot of attention, but my relationship is getting minimal attention. So that means that if I were to roll the wheel, it would not roll. Now, everything doesn't have to be 10. Everything doesn't have to be a certain number. It's really individual to you. जैसे अगर आपको सब कुछ balance करते हुए, if you are at 4, 5 for everything, and you feel happy, you have that content. Remember I talked about अपने आप से पूछना कि am I content? If you're happy and you're content, and your wheel will roll, that's great. If you get everything at maybe 4 or 5 and your wheel will roll, and then you say, okay, I want to get this, I want to nurture this relationship. I want a little bit more in my spirituality. I need to focus on my health a little bit more. Then don't neglect the other areas as you focus on one, because the wheel will not be balanced. That's the point of it. So when we are talking about overall well-being, we want to make sure that we might put more attention for some time on one area, but then we go back and we make sure that we can balance out the other areas as well.
Is that means you want us to do over certain period, or how we feel now?
It's
I mean,
totally up to you.
through our life, whatever the age we are at, we have gone through the ups and downs of everything you charted here.
Yes.
Most of us have gone through all of them.
Yes.
In some cases, maybe more, in some cases, maybe less, or some time of your life you have more unsatisfied, or in some part of the life you have been more satisfied. How are we going to chart it on the table, on this chart then?
We don't have to do the past. We don't have to do the past.
What you're talking about today?
We're talking from today.
That how you feel today?
Yeah, how do you feel today? When you look at your overall health in all these areas of your life, where does it fall? What number are you at? And will your wheel roll? So we cannot go back. We cannot change the past. No matter how much we go back and try to analyze it and reflect on it, the past is not changing, right? We can change our way of looking at it, but there's nothing new there for us.
But
right?
this could also be for Jay-Z. Again, taking an example here. Yesterday, I was angry with the person.
Yes.
So my relationship wasn't good.
Okay.
But today, I'm very happy with the same person. So what do I say? Yesterday's, today's, or the time when I'm filling in this chart at that time?
Yes. So at that time, and that's a great question, actually, and I'll just clarify. So aap jab wo fill kar rahe hote hain, right? Maybe there is someone that you have, you don't have a good understanding with, Abhi, and there's a little bit, friction in the relationship. But you don't have to put a 2, because aapke aur bhi relationships hain, wo kaise hain, right? Is this one a major relationship, so it's going to have an impact on that number? Or is it somewhere that maybe you would have been a 9 if this relationship was good? Because of this relationship, you're now at a 7, but you want to get to a 9, so you know where you have to put your attention. The whole point of it is for us to really become aware of our life and the areas that we're putting attention and that areas that we might be neglecting. And I found that with a wheel, it's a fun way to do it, right? Because one of my things is having more fun. I don't have enough fun in my fun is always like a 3 or a 4. So I have to really focus on that. So I thought doing it this way would be fun. But you don't have to fill it out, because if you did it like that, you would be doing one sheet for each person, and you don't need to do that. We just look at the overall health of our relationships. How are they? The overall health of our finances. How are they? And if we go through, sometimes life mein ek jagah thoda sa down hota hai, so that's going to impact, you'll see that on the wheel. Okay, you know what? These days, my nutrition, I've been skipping my meals, it's down a little bit. But it doesn't mean that, you just see it, because we're using this as an awareness tool. So you see it and you say, oh, I need to put my attention back on my nutrition, because I've been neglecting this area. So like that.
Another thing I'd like to share, and what you talked about, the sleep. Mine is, you mentioned a lot of things like turn off your computers or cell phones an hour before that, or the lights or the noises and all that.
Yeah.
Mine is totally opposite.
Okay.
Believe me, I turn off the computer. After 5 minutes later, I'm in the bed.
Okay, good.
and my windows are all open, my no blinds, no nothing, all light coming. I don't care if there's a noise around me or there's a light around me or somebody beating the drums. It doesn't happen to me. But only thing is, I'm saying when I do, it's a routine, as you mentioned, it's a routine. Normally, if I go to bed before 12 o'clock, I will not having good sleep. Mine is after 12.
Okay.
And one thing I do, which is maybe helping me, is before I go to the bed, I do 10 minutes exercise.
Okay.
From the exercise, straight into the bed. It's not that I'm sweating or anything, it's just loosening myself.
Yeah, the stretches, they help your body relax. Absolutely. Right. Yes.
And within about, like I have a watch which measures my sleeping habits or sleeping timing.
Yes.
It's, I would say 9 out of 10 times is 90 plus. Good sleep.
That's excellent. See, so that's really good because you're very aware of that area of your life. And this is what the whole point of this, session was, is bringing awareness to all these different areas of our life.
Like one night, I know there was some police car, sirens in our road. Mm-hmm. My wife saying there was police last night. I said, when? I don't know. Those sirens didn't wake me up.
Yeah. That's so good.
I was just saying that mine is kind of total opposite.
And it's going to be, yeah, no, absolutely. And I'm glad that you said that because it's going to be unique and individual to each of us, right? We're all different. And that's what makes it so amazing, is that we're all different. That's how we can all learn from each other. That's why when we do these kind of sessions, and I really ask everyone to become engaged and participate, because we all learn from each other. It's not that I'm here teaching, I'm just bringing something up, and then you guys are sharing with me as well. So we're all learning from each other what works for us and what doesn't work for us. And maybe someone else listening to what we're talking about can relate to me, but maybe someone doesn't relate to me. Maybe someone relates to you. So that's why it's important for us to have this engagement. But thank you very much for sharing. Yeah, absolutely. Surjit ji, yeah, thank you so much. Surjit ji, go ahead.
ਹਾਂਜੀ ਫਜ਼ੀਆ ਜੀ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਤਾਂ ਮੈਂ ਥੈਂਕ ਯੂ ਕਹਿਣਾ ਚਾਹੁੰਦੀ ਹਾਂ ਬਹੁਤ ਹੀ ਵਧੀਆ ਸੈਸ਼ਨ ਹੈ ਲੇਕਿਨ ਆਪਣੇ ਕਿਚਨ ਵਰਕ ਤੋਂ ਪਰ ਮੈਂ ਛੱਡ ਨਹੀਂ ਸਕੀ ਹੈਗੀ ਤੇ ਦੂਸਰਾ ਮੈਂ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਮੈਂ ਆਪਣੀ ਅੰਡਰਸਟੈਂਡਿੰਗ ਦੀ ਵੈਲੀਡੇਸ਼ਨ ਕਰਾਉਣਾ ਚਾਹੁੰਦੀ ਹਾਂ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਕੋਲੋਂ ਕਿ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਅੰਕਲ ਜੀ ਵੀ ਉਹ ਪੁਆਇੰਟ ਉਠਾਉਂਦੇ ਨੇ ਕਿ ਵੀਲ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਹੈਗਾ ਉਹਦਾ ਪਾਰਟ ਆ ਕਿ ਆਪਾਂ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਜਦੋਂ ਐਨਾਲਾਈਜ਼ ਕਰਨਾ ਹੈ ਨਾ ਕਿ ਉਹਦੇ ਜੇ ਆਪਾਂ ਦੇਖਣਾ ਕਿ ਉਹ 5 ਤੱਕ ਫਿਲ ਹੋਇਆ ਜਾਂ 7 ਤੱਕ ਫਿਲ ਹੋਇਆ ਰਾਈਟ ਸੋ ਇਫ ਲਾਈਕ ਡਜ਼ਨਟ ਮੈਟਰ ਕਿ ਆਪਣਾ ਕੋਈ ਪਾਸਟ ਦਾ ਵੀ ਆਪਣੇ ਕੋਲ ਫਨ ਹੈ ਨਹੀਂ ਸੀ ਜਾਂ ਕੁਛ ਸੀਗਾ ਏਦਾਂ ਰਾਈਟ ਬਟ ਐਨਾਲਾਈਜ਼ ਤਾਂ ਆਪਾਂ ਅੱਜ ਦੀ ਸਿਚੁਏਸ਼ਨ ਕਰਨੀ ਆ ਉਹ ਚਾਹੇ ਉਹਦੇ ਤੇ ਅੱਜ ਦੀ ਸਿਚੁਏਸ਼ਨ ਤੇ ਇਫੈਕਟ ਪਿਛਲਾ ਸੀਗਾ ਰਾਈਟ ਹਾਂ ਕਿ ਅੱਜ ਆਪਾਂ ਫੀਲ ਕਿੱਦਾਂ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਕਿੱਦਾਂ ਓਵਰਕਮ ਕਰਨਾ ਹਨਾ ਤੇ ਇਹਦਾ ਮਤਲਬ ਇਹੀ ਹੈ मैं just want to make sure
absolutely जब आप बैठेंगे ना इसको फिल करने के लिए फिर आप each section पे आप time गुजारें आप सोचें ask yourself those questions and say where am I, what's the health of my emotional state, what is the health of my financial state, and आप हर section पे आप time दें and think about it, and you don't have to fill it all at one time कि बस बैठ के 10 minute में खत्म करके and you look at it. No, take your time and be honest with yourself and ask yourself questions. And again, there's no right or wrong. There's no right or wrong. Where we are is where we are. We just have to be open to accepting and being aware. And once we know, जब हम समझते हैं, हम अपने आप को देख सकते हैं and समझ सकते हैं, फिर हम सोच सकते हैं, you know what, इस area में maybe मैं थोड़ा सा improve करूँ. Maybe ये वाली area जो है, I'm giving too much attention and I'm not focusing here. It's about bringing awareness for yourself so that you don't have any blind spots in your well-being.
So what you're saying,
Right.
Fozia,
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
You don't have to complete this chart in one day.
If you want to, it's good if you take some time and do it. But if you have 5 minutes, don't think I'm going to sit down and do this as a 5-minute activity, because I want you to take the time and really reflect on each section.
Should we write the date on that as well?
If you want, nobody has to report back to me. No, nobody has to report back to me, but आप अपने लिए कर रहे हैं. Remember, this is about your, G?
It is self-study.
It's a self-study. आप अपने लिए कर रहे हैं. This is for you to learn about yourself. So if you want to do one every week or once a month, and फिर आप सामने रख के compare करें. Okay, what was going on, and this was my levels, what was going on, and then this is how I felt. And it really helps you to understand yourself.
Are you going to send the copy of the chart?
Yes, it'll be a PDF, so you can just print it out.
Yes.
And then I'll have the instructions. I'll have one that has the instructions on it so that they know how to do it. I have that one. You have it? Okay. I think it's from a past session, right? I think
it was from some other session.
Past session,
but
yeah.
It's the same thing.
Yes. No, actually it's not. I changed it.
Yeah.
I changed it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I changed it. Okay. So then I will make sure that that's available.
I think now everybody has asked the questions. Any more questions? So thank you, Fozia, for such an enlightening talk. You have an ability to fully involve all the people who are attending this session. And you keep shaking us and reminding us with the little things which we should take care. And you have a very fine, gentle way of shaking us every time you take a session. And there are many things which you get to know about yourself when we attend your sessions. And the 8 slice pie, I'll always remember. It's very easy to remember this way. And all these 8 pieces are very important in our lives. And I wish that I hope that you will keep on enlightening us with more sessions like this. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Fozia.
Fozia,